This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
Red hot comic book movie news, shooting up your butthole. The Weekly Planet, the Weekly Planet.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Weekly Planet, where we talk movies and comics and TV shows. I'm speeding through this intro because I'm very excited. Nick Mason has brought a present in, presumably for the podcast, or for me specifically.
It is for the podcast.
Ah.
It's the
But can we keep it at the podcast?
Yeah, yes, we can.
Okay,
it's
good.
to brighten up the podcast room.
Very
James.
good.
It's a little something, you know.
I thought it might have been a record, but it's not.
It was nearly a record. I'll tell you about it in a moment.
So I'm opening this up. It's record shaped. He's wrapped it beautifully, I must say.
Thank you.
It's got lovely Christmas. Did you have a good Christmas?
I did have a pretty good Christmas.
You did a little bit of work, but then you did a little bit of fam. Is that right?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
And a little bit of then sitting by myself, which is the best part of Christmas.
I agree.
think you'll agree.
So, what he's got? It's the 007 official.
It's official. Yeah.
No Time to Die 2021 16-month calendar.
Well, we don't know how many more months it'll be until we have time to die. Now, what we
When
should
does it start?
I guess
July, I think.
No, surely not.
Look, July. Oh no, that's just the month of. But so there is 16 pictures of. Oh my God, look at all these crisp images.
You know what I like? Look, I think it'll start. What we should do is we should mark in Australia. It's coming out on April the 12th. We should mark it down and then see how long it takes before it actually comes out.
That's a great
idea. I like because I haven't bought a calendar in probably 20 years.
Yeah.
First of all, I saw it and I'm like, God, how much a calendar's going to be these days? They're going to be $40. They're not. But I love the pictures that they have chosen.
Yeah.
Like if you look, there's like top down. There's
This is my favorite.
There's Rafe finds his M and he's just looking.
with his hands on his hips.
He's just looking fed up.
He's also not even lit properly.
Yeah,
like he's in the shadows.
It's clearly Bond has gone rogue at some point, like he always would, and he's just upset by it.
This one where Bond is standing in the dark.
Like
he looks
disheveled in a t-shirt.
Yeah, but he looks like he's wearing a cooking apron. Like he was maybe chopping tomatoes and somebody's come in.
Well, maybe that's the 4th of July.
This one is just a Jeep and you can't really see who's driving it. And also, like, it's obscured by, like, probably, I don't know, like a quarter of a leaf is covering most of the picture.
Isn't it fascinating?
These are horrible pictures.
There's one of Rami Malek and he's just sort of standing there.
Most of these are in shadows. This one, he looks like an old-timey prospector.
Yeah.
He's wearing, like, slacks and
suspenders and a grandpa shirt. Yeah. Well, I guess you can't show anything that isn't a spoiler.
I guess not.
Because, James,
what are you showing from a spoiler from a Bond movie?
Spoiler culture has ruined 16-month calendars, James. You can't be like, here's bloody Jack Nicholson falling into the toxic waste or whatever.
Do you mind? I know it's not quite the new year
let's crack it open.
But I just want to check how when this ends.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
No, please do.
I mean, when is bloody 2020?
I'll
check the calendar to make sure it does end.
Okay, good.
How do we bloody go? Who needs a digital clock when you
I'm
going to throw away my digital clock.
The one on your phone.
All right, so it starts in 2020. Good.
Nice, good, great.
So it's got, what the fuck? It's a giant bit of fucking cardboard in it. Okay, so
that's the end of 2020. Good.
And then we launch straight into January. It's also got different languages.
Ooh.
You can hang this anywhere in the world, or at least 4 places.
Well, James, that's what we're going to do. Lucky listeners, we're going to send it to their house at any expense, James.
So the first picture, no one cares about this. Why are we doing this? But he's Daniel Craig's in his Aston Martin, except he's up really close.
Yeah.
So you can't really see what kind of car it is, and you can just see him.
It could just be a banged up old Volvo
yeah,
or something.
It really could be. And so it's a close up of his big potatoey head, and you can sort of see someone behind him, and it says James Bond (brackets Daniel Craig) and Madeline Swan, Leah Seydoux, escape in the Aston Martin. But like 4 of those things mentioned are not visible really in this image.
Yeah.
This is garbage. Well done.
Thank you.
Okay, it ends in...
All right, if the last one's a spoiler.
It ends in December. It's 16 months because the first 4 months are on the first page.
Yeah.
That's outrageous.
Right? But maybe you buy it in advance. Maybe you buy this. They put it on the shelves in September. And then they're like, all right.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Oh,
how much you got going on, really,
This is incredible, Mason.
Anyway, this is This is the second last episode of the podcast that we're doing before we go on break.
That's right. Yes, that's right.
Little,
we were going to do the best of episode this week, but it would have been a lot with Wonder Woman 84, a movie we both loved, and we're going to get into. You can skip to the time codes.
We're both going to get into it for sure. That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
But and also we've got news of we've got some Disney Plus dates. We've got some HBO Max might be in trouble, Mason. Furiosa news. Blumhouse stuff, new horror movies. There's not Snyder Cut news this week. I just want to make mention of that because I know you'd be happy. Coming to America. MGM, speaking of Bond, some movements there.
Right.
And of course, and I do want to talk about the awards for next week because, no, let's just do it now. So next week we do our annual awards. Collins has put together the document where people can actually vote for all the best and worst of the year. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a few categories that I know that is included. We'll link that below. Collins will link that below. If you do want to vote. So we'll have our picks, obviously, but then there'll be the votes from the people.
Exactly. Before we get started, James, something that's just popped up on my screen.
I love
my
screens.
Screen, I mean phone. This is from tvline.com. Wonder Woman. Pedro Pascal recalls his previous spin with superhero in NBC pilots starring Adrienne Palicki.
That's something
I reckon
we did.
I think they've stolen our scoop, and by scoop I mean we stole that pilot off the internet and watched it and talked about it.
We did.
And I think we've brought it back into the public consciousness.
I think there were a few. Owen Likes Comics did a video on it. I think
we
there's
didn't.
a few people who
we
he did
absolutely
an excellent
did.
video, actually.
Hang on, let's see what he had to say.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. It was like a dream come true, he said. David E. Kelly's influence on television when I was freshly out of college was so huge, and I watched every episode of Friday Night Lights. I also thought that whether it was good or not, it would definitely get picked up.
Yeah.
So that would
everybody
change my
thought that.
financial situation significantly, even if it was a half season before it got cancelled. But it didn't even get picked up.
No, it didn't. But now look at him now.
As for whether Wonder Woman 1984 Helmer Patty Jenkins knew of his previous run-in with the Amazonian princess at the time he was cast, he was unsure, shrugging, they must have either not known or not cared.
That seems accurate.
Yeah, I think
probably not known.
Probably a combination of the two.
I'd imagine, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, forget that. We'll talk about a slightly better Wonder Woman thing a bit later, won't we?
Okay, we
Time
sure
codes
will.
in the description. Mason, Disney Plus dates.
Okay.
They released a whole bunch of stuff, but let's just talk about the ones that we know us and our listeners really care about, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So Falcon and the Winter Soldier is March 19th. Maybe we knew that.
We might have
But
known
now
that,
we
yeah.
know for sure.
Okay, sure.
Loki's going to be in May.
Yeah. Oh,
More like high key, am I right?
no.
No, I'm not, am I? What If is in summer?
You're not firing on all cylinders yet, James.
I drank it already. I drank it already. I drank it before you got here.
Maybe drink
You
a
were
second
late. I
kombucha.
drank it, Mason. You should have been here earlier. Actually, I don't think you were late.
I was exactly on time. You drank your kombucha earlier.
Then we've got What If coming summer. Summer in the Northern Hemisphere, obviously. Then we've got Ms. Marvel. Get ready for these dates. Late 2021.
That's a long time away.
That's right. Then we've got Hawkeye, also late 2021.
Oh.
Boom. And then we've got Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett. It's confirmed as a series. And we knew that was in December, but now we know that that is going to be... That's his series, and then we're getting The Mandalorian Season 3, which is what we suspected.
Very exciting.
Even though I had many people yell at me that was not the case. But where are they now? Come back and apologise if you could. Apologise for what you did. It's rude.
They're not listening to this. They
No.
stopped listening. They probably never listened. They
It
probably
wasn't
just
vi-
saw that video.
It was
and
more
were
on
like,
YouTube. I don't think anybody actually wrote it.
How do we feel about all those? I'm pretty excited.
Pretty good.
March isn't that far away, so that's
Well, we've
pretty
got
good.
WandaVision even
3
weeks out from now. So
That's even closer.
It's even closer than then. 15th, so even less than that. What is the date today? It doesn't fucking matter. Next bit of news,
I was just thinking, we're a little bit off our game. I don't know. We mentioned this amongst ourselves.
Yeah, we may
but
have.
last week we were both invited to the premiere of the movie Monster Hunter.
Yeah, we were.
And neither of us showed up because we both forgot it was happening.
I messaged
So-
you at 9 o'clock when it would probably had 20 minutes left. And I was like, hey, how was that Monster Hunter thing we both forgot about?
Guess what? I was in bed by then. So,
Okay, genuine question.
Yes.
If you had have remembered,
yep.
would you have gone?
If it was within an hour, I would have gone, I think.
Yeah.
If I was within maybe half an hour, I would have checked maps to see how long it would take me to get
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
And then I'd go, okay, well, I could get there in 20 minutes, but then I have to find a park.
Yeah. Do you not have a direct train or tram you can take?
Oh, maybe.
Because I think it was at Melbourne Central.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
So, yeah.
Yeah, could
So,
have.
yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. We missed it.
We sure did.
And we'll probably never see it. Because I think that was our window.
Wow.
And we just didn't see it.
It's the bloody silly season, isn't it?
I heard it's all right.
Another thing that I did this week is my card I use for purchasing in my daily life.
Yeah, right.
I got a replacement card because the old one expired and I lost it. I threw it away. So that made Christmas shopping this season very good. And
Were you
cool.
withdrawing cash on your phone,
Yeah.
like at the ATM?
Yep.
That's what I do. when I
And
forget
being
my
like, "Do you
wallet.
accept cash currently in the situation we're in?" And they're like, "Ugh."
Yeah, not Australian
Yes.
dollars.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll take euro depending where you got it from.
Right.
All right. Though I think our economy is not too bad at the moment, is it?
James, we are not.
Let's get into
of
it.
all the many things we are not qualified to talk about.
I think
in
in
this
terms of
podcast.
world economy, I don't think we're doing too badly at this point.
Wow.
It's probably from all the coal we keep selling. Anyway, Mason, got some
because of
dates.
Christmas.
Yeah,
because of all the bad kids,
that's
we
right.
sell it to Santa Claus.
There's more every year.
That's
and he is loving it.
Yeah.
June of 20.
I'll take all the coal you have, he says.
I wrote 2032, and I'm just going to correct this for no reason, but 2023, Furiosa is going to be out. That's the Anya Taylor-Joy led Furiosa prequel. Good, I think.
Yep, great.
Because some of the Mad Maxes are good, and the last Mad Max is easily the best.
I agree.
Yeah. And following on from that, they also announced, this is leading into some more interesting Warner Brothers news, but around that time...
So this is only subpar interesting Warner Brothers news.
There's some good, there's some stuff.
all right.
They announced Coyote versus Acme, which is the sequel to Coyote Ugly, where they no, this is a good joke, and I could run with it.
Is this a written joke? What are you
No,
doing
it's
here?
not.
Okay.
That's
I'm looking at his script here, and it just says Coyote versus Acme, and then brackets, and it's like riff an amazing joke. You can do it, James. Believe in yourself. It says, and you did it, James.
I did it, didn't I?
You did it.
It'll feature the age-old rivalry between the Roadrunner Nemesis and his preferred mail order supplier.
So it's him versus the company that's betrayed
I
him
guess
so
he's
many
taking
times.
them to court.
Oh.
It's like Kramer versus Kramer.
Do you think it'll be
except-
Ryan Reynolds as the voice of the Coyote or something?
Isn't it normally like a really like distinguished guy?
Sometimes it is, yeah.
Sometimes
His-
it is.
His voice is usually either a sign that says "Ouch, I've been hit on the head with an anvil,"
right.
or Frasier.
Yes,
Or
sure.
Niles.
Yeah, Niles or Frasier.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Great. So yeah, cool. They're bringing back a bunch of this stuff, aren't they? They're like, Warner Brothers is back. It's the 90s again when it was back, and everyone had
Oh,
silk
this
boxer
is
shorts.
this preemptive Space Jam? Like we know this is
Probably.
going to kill, so let's just do some. There'll
Exactly.
be a backdoor pilot for this, obviously.
Yeah.
Wile E. Coyote will be there, and he'll be like, "Ouch, I've been hit by an anvil."
Yeah. Or his other accent that he does.
Right?
Or he's holding signs.
Yeah,
I hope it's a courtroom drama.
Niles, I've been hit by an anvil.
Yeah, I do hope it's like a courtroom drama like the Pelican Brief, if that's a courtroom drama.
It
Just
is,
real
yes.
serious, you know what I mean?
See, that's what
Ashley Judd
That's what the
was
90s were
probably
all
in
about.
that.
That's what the 90s were all about. Looney Tunes boxer shorts.
And Ashley Judd
As-
courtroom procedurals.
That's right. So we combine the two.
That's right.
The 90s are back.
Exactly. Interesting though, one of the screenplay writers among the many of them is James Gunn.
Huh.
So there you go. I don't know how much he has to do with it, but there's
Yeah,
like
what does that
4
mean?
names on it.
Does
so-
that mean he comes in and does Punch Up and they ignore it, or what is it?
He was the first name listed, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he...
Yeah, he's got the best agent.
Yeah,
that's why.
That's probably why, yeah.
And he's hot stuff. So.
Hot stuff. He's gone all grey. Have you seen that?
No.
He's looking good. You should look. He's giving me inspiration, Mason.
Okay, right.
It's not just me out there in the world being real, you know what I mean?
So it's given you inspiration to continue to have grey hair.
Yes. Or not freak out and dye my hair jet black and
Oh,
people
yeah.
go, why did you do that?
Yeah, because you'd have to do your eyebrows as well.
My eyebrows aren't grey, are they? Look at this.
Oh no!
They're
What
as
have I
black as
done?
night, Mason.
Well, maybe it's a trick of the light.
I think that's the last thing to go. Because my dad,
okay.
I think, doesn't have grey eyebrows. Maybe he does. I'm going to FaceTime him now.
Okay.
Dad, you got to hold the camera properly. I need to see your eyebrows. Anyway, Deadline are also reporting that because the Legendary financed 75% of Dune, or is it Dune, and Kong versus Godzilla, and then they were like, that's going to HBO Max. And they're like, we fucking made those, man. You can't do that probably. Well, apparently Godzilla versus Kong might stay on HBO Max, the hybrid model, in its May 21st slot.
Okay, so HBO Max and also a cinema release.
Yes, they all do. They're all doing
Yeah,
that. But only if Warner Brothers makes a deal with Legendary that uses the base that uses as a base the $250 million value established when the film was shopped earlier with Netflix.
What does that mean?
So they went to take it to Netflix and they kind of vetoed that.
Okay, right.
And as a result, and then they went, because we're keeping it and not going to
Right.
give you any money. And they went, excuse me?
So Legendary is basically like, we could have got $250 million. We could have got $250 million for this.
That's right.
And now we're going to make $35.
That's right.
So from James and Meso, because they're going to see it.
They're going to see it. There might be a screening that we forget about here.
That's true.
We're going to the movies, mate.
And then they take that money back.
Yeah, that's right.
There's little spots that say reserved for James and Meso, and then Usher picks up those little bits of paper and rips them up and puts them into a bin in front of the head of Legendary Pictures,
my
who I
goodness.
assume is a king of some sort.
Maybe.
Based on the logo, he's
So-
a king, isn't he?
Mate, well, when I went to the Wonder Woman screaming, when I went to the Wonder Woman screening, there was literally nobody from like Roadshow or the Warner Brothers there. It
Yeah.
was like a regular usher, and they're like, "Here you go." And normally there's like somebody to like tick you off, but they were just like, "Just fucking get in."
Okay, do you think that is because the roadshow, like the bigwigs are like, we're not going to risk coming out here in these conditions, or do you think they were like, let's let the usher take the heat?
Take
for
that
this?
on this one.
Some people are liking this movie.
Some people are like,
loving this
"I've got
movie."
good and bad things to say."
I also have good and bad things to say.
Yeah.
A friend of the show, Alexis Gentry, who people might know
yeah.
from doing some art of us and some design stuff and cool typography stuff on Instagram.
Yeah, right.
I saw a tweet from her where she said, a lot of people have adopted the metric that we use as a joke.
Yeah.
For real, like best movie ever, worst movie ever, and they're like, it must be one of the
Yeah.
two. And you can just be like, this movie there's some good stuff in it,
Yeah.
but I did or I did not like it, or
Yeah,
you know, so-
exactly. Yeah. Also, we adopted that because that is it. Like it's a joke, but it's not really a joke
Sure.
because that's the way things operate.
Yeah.
Then again, I feel like there is a third person like us. It's like actually there's room for nuance, which may be the worst person, really.
We are the worst. That's what the subtitle of the podcast says. It's if you look really close at our logo, it says The Weekly Planet, the worst kind of guys.
Actually, if you just stop and think about it, there are good and bad qualities to everything. We just both sidesing it.
Yeah.
just fuck it all day, mate. We love it. Anyway, Dune might not be going to streaming though. They want to preserve Dune, or is it Dune, as a traditional theatrical release to preserve the franchise potential. And since it's October 1st...
We want it to be the wonderful, true cinematic experience of planes that have wings that flap.
Exactly. Remember John Carter? It's kind of like that, I think. Was it based off that loosely? Which one came first? Listen, it doesn't matter.
These people are zipping around like in Casablanca. They've got zippy powers.
Look, all we know is wherever we release it, whatever happens, we're only making one, all right? We're just making one and that's it.
Remember in Citizen Kane when Kane's... Remember it was revealed that Rosebud was his little force field generator? Because this is serious cinema and we want to maintain that air of serious cinema.
Absolutely.
It's about big worms, this
That
movie.
big worms.
It's about big worms.
Chomp, 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 chomp. Anyway, since its October 1st release date falls well after the estimated late spring date when COVID vaccines should lead to herd immunity, they're like, well, why don't we move it back to cinema releases?
Perfect.
Maybe. So we'll see. Either way, I can't wait for nobody to see that movie. Even though I am looking... Maybe it'll save cinema.
Maybe
I'd love it
this
to
will be
save
one
cinema.
save,
That'd be
will save
incredible.
cinema, yeah.
Something's got to save cinema. Why
Do
not
you think if
Dune
they
or Dune?
rebranded WizFizz as Spice, do
Yeah.
you think that'd save WizFizz?
Might just. Is Whispers on the out?
When was the last time you saw a
It's a
WizFizz?
great question. I'd have to check I'm not looking at the lolly section. I just blank it when I walk past because I'm like, forget it. It'll kill you. It'll kill you. Don't bother.
Yeah. Because as an adult,
Yeah.
you can just be like, oh, they're $2 for $2.
Yeah.
I'll take 10, thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's no one to stop you from eating all 10 in the afternoon, right?
I want a warm Dr. Pepper with it too, if I could.
Exactly right.
That was my deal, mate, back in the day. Go down with, when you've got some pocket money when you're a teenager
Yeah.
and you're just like, I got $20, man. I'm fucking going all out here. I'm going to do a lot of WizFizz. Anyway, Observer are reporting that David Gordon Green, as you might know, is the director of Blumhouse's Halloween 2018.
Oh, yes.
And the next Halloween, whatever that one's called. He's going to be directing an Exorcist direct sequel for Blumhouse.
Now, there were real Exorcist sequels.
Funny you should mention that,
Okay.
Mason, because I have listed all of the Exorcist films here, and it
Oh.
takes a fascinating turn.
Oh, okay, all
So
right.
here we go.
All right.
So,
is this the thing where all the actors have turned to porn by the end of the list?
No.
Is that-
It's
okay,
not
right.
that fascinating.
Okay.
That is the most fascinating thing that has ever happened. Go back and listen to that episode, whatever that is. Anyway, so they had Exorcist 1973,
Yep.
the original based off the book. It was an incredible smash hit. It was like a blockbuster horror film, and nobody had ever seen anything like it. It still very much holds up today.
I think it's funny, but
Yeah, well, it's funny. Yeah.
and then it was immediately followed by Exorcist 2000.
Yeah, well, it was followed up by
The Exorcist is coming out of my VCR. They call it. They've rebranded. The girl is called the Exorcist now.
Okay, that's excellent. I love it. So they had Exorcist 2, The Heretic in 1977. They
Okay.
took a bit of a breather. So can we all just back up? And then they had Exorcist 3 in 1990, which was apparently all right.
I think that is the one where the priest gets possessed by the devil instead.
Doesn't that also happen at the end of The Exorcist and he jumps out the window?
Can't remember.
Sorry for spoiling The Exorcist, that movie from 1973. Don't complain. And then we had, and this is where it does get interesting, we had Exorcist: The Beginning in 2004, which was a prequel starring Max von Sydow. It's called a prequel to the original. But then in 2005, we had Dominion, prequel to The Exorcist, which is described as an alternative prequel to the original.
Wow,
So-
to the original prequel.
Yeah, no, different prequels telling different stories or timelines.
Ah, okay, wow.
So they're like competing Exorcist prequels and they're both bad.
Wow.
They're like, we're going to do it right, actually. And people are like, stop this. Or do one every year. Just be like, this is the real Exorcist
You know what?
prequel.
I'm sort of kind of hoping for like that situation where somebody owns some of the rights to The Exorcist, like the Bond movies, so they release competing Exorcist prequels at the same time.
Yeah,
Like, it's the summer of Exorcist prequels.
Oh no, The Exorcist is coming out of it's a VCR again. Whatever. It's a throwback, all right? Fuck, it's a prequel. We don't know. We don't know what we're doing.
One's a prequel set in the 80s and one's a prequel set now.
Perfect. Okay, so it's like the Bond timeline. It's like moving up.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get you. I hear what you're saying. Someone's probably going to steal this, but I would love to do for Caravan of Garbage if this movie ever comes out, which I'm sure it will, like an Exorcist prequel video where we just talk about both and kind of like, because I was skimming the reason it happened. I'm like, wow, this is weird.
What is the reason?
There was like people dropped out, Marine. I think someone died, and then there was like, well, this was my original vision. I didn't get to do it, and I got removed, and so I'm going to do my own version. I butchered it. I don't remember.
But it's good to know there are people out there who are just like, I will not compromise on my original vision for this prequel. I've come into Hollywood with a dream. I'm a man with a vision for just a prequel to a movie that I had nothing to do with originally. I wasn't even born when it came out, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I was one, but it really affected me deeply
That's right.
when I saw it on VCR. And The Exorcist came out of my VCR and scared me real bad.
So I know. I just wanted to confirm with you. I know we're having Snyder Cut news every week, and I just wanted to peel that back this week. Pull it back, I should say, because there's no Snyder Cut news, but there is Snyder Cut sequel news.
I knew it.
I mean, why would I bring it up otherwise?
Yeah, sneaky.
Yeah. So here we go. It's from Bleeding Cool. This is Zack Snyder talking about the sequel.
Is he on Vero?
No, I think it was just an interview, like a Zoom call.
Okay. Oh, I did see he released some spectacular concept art images of Martian Manhunter, and by that I mean he showed his phone to a
yeah, that's a
webcam
while
and
ago, wasn't it?
Maybe. And he went, look at this guy's head. Can you imagine it? Right? Ba-bum, 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 ba-bum.
And 1,000 Nerds went, we love this movie, but you also endorsed Joe Biden. Oh, fuck. We're really torn. That's what happened.
Wow.
Anyway, I would love to do a comic book. The post-apocalyptic nightmare world. The world has fallen. The ragtag team that's left alive is trying to put it back, Snyder explains. Inside, that's a little bit
It's an incredible comic book experience that they've never done before. No one's ever thought of this before. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the DC universe, but with a twist?
a future that maybe wasn't meant to be.
And if you nerds can't handle it, because this isn't your daddy's DC universe,
Fuck him and fuck you. This is great. Anyway. I like him. I know he's like, I know.
I don't.
Like as a person?
I
or
don't
like,
know anything about him.
Inside of that story.
I love his insistence on using Vero. He's
Yeah,
the
that's
only
what I'm
man
talking about.
left
He's
on
got
Vero.
some things about it. I'm like, I love this commitment to weird things. Anyway, inside of that story, we would also do the story of the Killing Joke, Robin. Imagine. The Joker is somehow involved in the stealing of the mother box and using it to create the treadmill. Cyborg is going to do the math. That should be a good scene. This is what we're going
The math is coming out of the VCR.
It's too much math, even for me. It's too much for him. Yeah. He's only used to maybe a slightly more regular amount of math.
like a graphing calculator.
like a graphic calculator.
It blasts right through his TI-82.
This is what we're going to have to do. We're going to jump back in time and warn Bruce correctly. So a lot of the conflict would be Bruce reliving the death of Robin and what went into that. And Snyder would go on to say, I don't think anything is going to happen right away. But Jim and I have talked about it quite a bit and talked about maybe doing a book.
Lee?
Yeah, I assume so.
Okay.
Or a comic book down the road to kind of finish this. We haven't locked anything yet. Even just the death of Robin in that world would make a nice little one-off. I think he's like sowing the seeds of a sequel.
Yeah,
Like-
to get the hype going. Why wouldn't he? I mean, that is one thing that I guess I respect about the man is he's just like, he knows how to push the correct buttons here and go,
You know how you hate my vision? Well, fuck you and your dad. This is happening.
wait, I didn't say anything about.
Shut up, old man. We're the same age. Fuck you.
I feel you've painted me and my son with the same brush here. I don't understand. I'm a big stand for you, Zack Snyder. I love all your work. I love how this ain't my daddy's Justice League. That's what I love.
That's what I love about it too. Anyway, it's coming out in March maybe, so
Yeah.
we'll see, and then we can just keep talking about it.
In the meantime, I guess read Injustice because it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, or like flashpoints, future shit, and whatever.
Yeah, just read
whatever.
those.
Yeah. Anyway, Coming to America has a trailer.
Sure does.
Whatever.
Have you seen the original Coming to America? It's the same movie, I think.
Yeah, but probably not as good.
Just let that sit for a while, I think.
Yep, that's fine.
Hey,
That's
I mean,
all sitting there.
Dolomite Is My Name was very good.
That's true. Wesley Snipes is in this as well, who, by the way, was incredible in Dolomite
Yeah.
Is My Name. It's like my favorite part of that movie. But yeah, it does look very similar. And
Yeah.
also, why does he have a kid in America?
Good question.
Maybe it's Arsenio's horse kid or whatever.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. Anyway, all the characters you know and love, as in the same two people playing all the characters.
all the
you know and
characters,
love,
yeah.
They're all back.
All the barbershop patrons, they're all back.
Yeah, cool. I haven't seen that in a long time.
Same.
It's probably funny.
Couldn't make it these days, though, James.
Whoa, Mason, you can't say that. You know, yeah,
Nah,
you can't say that.
You couldn't make it these days, I tell you what.
Well, they literally are. They are making it again.
No, that's true.
So I don't know what.
No, you couldn't. No, you couldn't.
I mean, they are. Again, they are
Yeah,
making it.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
coming out soon. So, they did. Anyway, the Wall Street Journal are reporting that MGM, who are in constant financial dire straits.
I bet it's way worse than we think.
It's always way worse than we think.
Yeah.
They're always on the verge of bankruptcy,
But I reckon
or
it's
they are
even
bankrupt.
worse.
Okay.
I reckon it's even worse.
They want to sell their entire back catalogue valued at $5.5 billion. This includes 4,000 titles and 17,000 hours of recorded television programming. Luckily, they recorded it. Because otherwise, what are you selling? Just blank tapes.
Imagine you're the guy. Imagine you're some sort of eccentric billionaire, though. You've spent the 5.5B.
Yeah.
Because that's how rich you are. You're like, I'll spend 5.5B. You don't even say the full. You're spending so many B that you don't even say full illion.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you get to like the end of all the cans of like recorded TV stuff, and you're like, they've taped over some of this. This is like old episodes of Doctor Who.
That's right, exactly like that, yeah. What do they even own in TV?
Good question.
I don't know.
mate.
Here's some things they do own, though. Bond, Rocky, The Hobbit, Robert Cop, Handmaid's Tale, Stargate. What do you think of that? That's some of the things.
Probably not worth $5.5 billion.
4,000 titles, Mason. Wow. Can you believe it?
Also, who's valuing it at $5.5 billion?
I think they had some
MGM are?
they had some investors look at it and be like,
Okay.
"We're from Wall Street and we know
Okay,
things."
we spend a B or two.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It's strange to me that Lucasfilm would be sold for less than that, but I think also Lucasfilm had a whole lot of like George Lucas got stocks in Disney, so it's probably that deal is
Roughly equivalent. Yeah,
probably
right.
looks
Okay, yeah,
very
yeah.
different than what
Yeah.
we know on the surface. So there you go. And that's all the news of the week.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no, I do have one more bit of news.
Okay, cool.
But anyway, just so people know, and we'll tell you next week when we do next week's show, we are taking a bit of a break over the summer. The Australian summer, that is, because
We're not telling you 6 months in advance we're taking 2 weeks off in American summer.
that's right. We'll be back, ready to go by then, hopefully. But so next week will be the last episode, and then there'll be a best of, and then there'll be a week off. But Big Sandwich is going to run the entire time. BigSandwich.co.
That's
If you
right.
want to sign up, there's a bunch of podcasts. We've got a comic book podcast. We've got one where we look at years and go, look at this shit. Yeah, was it good?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd say it might be all right. We've got movie commentaries.
That's right.
And Clickbait, that podcast where we just make fun of clickbait stuff.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, it's cool. And we are officially affiliated with We Got This Covered. That just came through. We've signed it on the dotted line.
Terrific. Great. We getting 5.5B?
That's right.
Wow.
So I know people have asked if we're affiliated with that because of the logo. Absolutely not.
No.
They
Don't show anyone the logo. Don't do it.
they wouldn't like it.
Yeah. Hey, James, here's some MGM TV shows. You ready for these?
I love TV.
Fargo,
Yeah, okay.
Handmaid's Tale,
Okay.
Get Shorty,
Okay.
Spaceballs, the animated series.
Wait, isn't the new no, not Fargo. What was the one?
Handmaid's Tale?
No,
Yeah,
the-
shorty.
Yeah, isn't that good? The Ray Romano one?
I hear it's pretty
got
good.
Chris, whatever his name is.
Chris Kattan.
Yes. What's his name?
Chris O'Dowd.
Yes.
Yeah. Spaceballs, the animated series.
What?
Stargate Origins.
Spaceballs.
Lauren Lake's Paternity Court.
What?
Lucha Underground. That's luchador wrestling.
That's cool.
Dr. Kildare. Cash Cab. Mother Goose and Grimm. 500 Questions.
Are they solving crime? What is that?
Kane's 100. The Islanders. The Montefuscos. Harry's Girls. Cutter to Houston. Many Happy Returns. The Rounders. Off to See the Wizard. Father of the Bride. Adam's Ridge.
Father of the
Rib.
Bride is a series?
It was a series, apparently. It's black and white. Some old stuff.
Ah.
Night Watch. Pink Panther and Sons.
Ugh.
The Magnificent Marble Machine. High Rollers. Just Men.
Just men.
Just Men.
Jesus. What year
Jack
is that?
and Mike, also Just Men, I assume. The Asphalt Jungle. Ooh, mobsters.
Ooh, that's good.
Dundee and the Culhane. Mr. District Attorney.
You could have just said they've got utter shit.
Men of Annapolis. The Case of the Dangerous Robin.
Like the bird?
Doesn't say. Sinbad and his magic belt.
That's not real. Are you making some of these up?
Okay, that one isn't real. It's Sinbad Jr. and his magic belt. I misspoke.
Okay, sorry.
The Debbie Reynolds Show.
Oh, yeah.
The Tom and Jerry Comedy Show.
Are they in Tom and Jerry?
Gladiators 2000.
They're in a VCR. They're coming out of a VCR.
It's other stuff. I didn't have a big finale there. So I'm just going to say...
I think Gladiators 2000.
I'm just going to say Sinbad Jr. and his magic belt again.
You should have ended on that.
Yeah, I should have, shouldn't I? But
Yeah.
I flew too high. I flew too close to the
You
sun.
did.
I expected them to get even more ridiculous because you said there was 4,000 titles. So I was going to do all 4,000.
So they have garbage, essentially.
Seems that way,
And
yeah.
also a lot of like things that aren't brand recognition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just men.
Just men.
Just men.
Just
How
men.
many of them are there?
I mean, but maybe that is the core series that's going to get people in.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm just men.
I'm just men too.
Yeah.
Me and my mate Terry, we're just men.
That's right.
Cool. Terry's my go-to name, just of a guy.
How many Terrys do you actually know?
None.
Maybe that's why, because you don't want to get involved in any heated legal action with anybody you know.
I'm sure my dad's got a friend named Terry that I hate.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah.
Anyway, I'll ring him later when I ask him about the eyebrows.
Okay.
Mason, one more bit of
Hey,
you.
Dad, two questions. Have your eyebrows gone grey? Because I'm concerned. Also, Terry, what's his deal? Do you know a Terry?
Oh, no, he does know it. I do know it. He does have a friend called Terry. No, he's all right. Anyway, Mason.
Yes.
This is some Wonder Woman 2017.
Anyway, folks,
news.
here's Wonderwall. We're
Here we
going to play it in its entirety. We've decided to pivot.
What do we got here? The original end of the first movie was also smaller, but the studio wanted to change it up at the last minute. This is
yeah.
Patty Jenkinson. And so there's always been a little bit of a bummer that the one thing people talk about, because I agree and told the studio we didn't have time to do that, but it was what it was. And I ended up loving it, and that was the original, but that wasn't the original ending to the movie. So the bit that we all hate, where it's like he's a big lightning man, and he's like, "No, you've given me too much energy."
But isn't the original ending, and maybe you have it there, wasn't she just going to fight a big cloud of dust or something?
Oh, that sounds good too.
Pretty good, right?
Kidding me? It's amazing.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. I don't know what the original ending was.
I think it
don't
was.
have it there,
I reckon I can find
Didn't
some-
they learn from fighting a cloud of dust from Fantastic Four 2, maybe?
And Green Lantern 1.
Yeah, and Green Lantern 1 and other movies they fight dust.
I'm going to put in Wonder Woman.
Geostorm,
Right?
you know?
I think she fights a cloud.
It's not very exciting. No, I can't find this right
All right,
now.
I'll find it later. It'll be incredible. Hello, puppy. You're chilly. You've been outside.
Anyways, Wonder Woman 1984.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman is back, except it's the future for some, but the past for us.
That's right.
I've written that down. There's a joke that I thought I'd bring into
was
this.
good, yeah.
It's coming. It's this time she's going up against the bloody streaming problems. Am I right? Because people's services are buffering, and also COVID, and also Deadline are reporting that the US box office for this is going to be in the low teens.
I'm having some streaming problems, James. My VCR, it's
Yeah.
eating the tape.
Oh,
the
Mason.
tape's coming out.
Mason, it's not
unspooling.
1984 in real life. You
Oh,
walked out
no.
of the movie and still think it's
I
1984.
do. It's true. Yeah.
But they're saying this has the best box office opening since Tenet, but still abysmal.
Right.
What did you think the story was?
Oh, all right, hang on. Okay, so it's the 80s. Get ready for it. Can you... Not quite, but that's all right.
Was there enough 80s music in this?
There
'Cause I
was- there
feel
was
like
barely
there
any.
wasn't.
There barely
Even if
was
you get
any.
like a synth track going, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? You
there was
don't need to
barely
put
any.
in Blue Monday, which they didn't, I think.
You don't need to put in that Hans Zimmer song that you love.
Yeah.
from Sunshine.
Yeah, I love that song, but they shouldn't have put that in.
Right.
Anyway, go on.
Okay, so it's the 80s, baby. Everything's big shoulders and... Exactly. Blue Mondays out there. They've made that track, haven't they? And Wonder Woman, it's been 65 years or something, and she still hasn't gotten over her first boyfriend.
Fucking get over it.
But it's all right because he's back. How's he done that? Magic, probably.
There's a magic rock.
So that's cool. But maybe not everything's cool and radical and totally tubular. Why? Because the magic as well has done something bad as well as good. Don't you know?
And there's a magic wishing man.
There is a magic wishing man. A genie, if you will, but different.
Yeah. So
More evil magic. Not
Yes, that's
ridiculous.
this is my experience with it. I know you'll talk about your experience when we talk about this.
Because we have different experiences.
But I left the movie and I'm like, yeah, all right, it's fine. And then I recorded a podcast straight away with Dave Lee podcast, if people want to check it out. And then I just didn't think about it. And then like a couple of days later, I'm like, actually, I know there were things that I did like about that movie, but in hindsight, maybe that wasn't very good.
I don't think it was very good. But here's the thing, is that...
There's still some things I really like, though. Yeah.
I think I understand what... I think it was probably the movie that Patty Jenkins and the producers wanted to make.
Yeah.
Like I think it's intended to be stylistically very similar to
Your Chris Reeves.
your Christopher Reeve, Richard Donner kind of like.
Yeah.
And I think
And that's what I liked about it.
and I think they've chosen the era partially because it's like it's a more innocent time and it's kind of fun and less complicated and that kind of thing. But also to me the vibe felt like, in its best moments to me, I think it felt like a Christopher Reeve Superman movie, which I'm not a huge fan of, but the ideas and like the vibe of it I liked. You know, Superman's a nice guy and it's a complicated world, but he's always there and that kind of thing.
Wink.
Why not do that for Wonder Woman as well? But I think in its worst moments for me, it felt like either...
Supergirl from the 80s?
Well, yeah, no, I didn't even think about that. Oh, and also they probably were also like, okay, let's make it a vibe like the Wonder Woman TV show again, kind of
definitely, it's
uncomplicated and
totally
what have you.
that, yeah.
But I think in its worst moments for me, it felt like an episode of the Super Friends cartoon, maybe like a Wonder Woman heavy one, or even like a read along Wonder Woman like child storybook.
Except
like,
it's 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Except it's 2 hours and 45. Like this, the plot of this was so simple, but they crammed so much into the runtime. But it was.
And then they went like, what about political issues in the Middle East? And it's like, you can't handle this. Maybe you shouldn't.
Well, see, that's the thing, because I think some of this was just such a like very simple one-dimensional morality play.
Yeah.
It was like, you could have all the power in the world, but don't you also love your son? I do. Or I don't. No spoilers.
That's right, yeah. One of the things I did like about it, and I know people aren't necessarily a big fan of like her acting or anything like that, but Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, I think she's good in the same way that Chris Reeve is. I saw also a comparison of like, I can't remember who said this, but it was like, it's like Stallone or Arnold. And we mentioned this even for our Jingle All the Way commentary. He's not the best actor, but there's like a presence about them.
Sure,
and there's an embodiment of the character, which I think totally still works.
Yeah, right.
For me. How do you feel, though?
I think, given what she's been given to work with here, and look, I think the chemistry between her and Chris Pine is...
It's palpable.
I think it's very good. And I depending on the scene, I'm like, okay, this is a greis this is a great scene and they're working well together. And then sometimes I'm like, do I just love Chris pining about? This is I think Gal Gadot does a good job, but I think there are some people who do carry this movie, and one of the people is Chris Pine.
Yeah, he's good.
I think he's just it leans very heavily on Wonder Woman was a fish out of water in the last movie. Now he's the fish out of water, and it's a bit he's a bit more off the wall wacky than say another Chris Evans. Yeah. Captain America-ing about, in the modern day.
Yeah.
But it is kind of like he's got a very much like a joy about him in this new world, which I think is enjoyable.
I thought that was really fun and infectious. Like seeing the 80s through his eyes and like being amazed by like planes and garbage bins and clothes and art
and subways
food
and
whatever. I think that's really fun. Yeah. But I think also like if you've got that going on and then you've got like Donald Trump light. Like he's Donald Trump, except he's maybe likes his kids.
I didn't really think about that so much during the movie. I just felt he was just a caricature of an 80s. Maxwell Lord, who we have in this, who in retrospect, I'm like, why did he need to be the comic book character Maxwell Lord?
There's a few nods like, I guess spoilers. I don't know, man. Do we do in spoilers?
Let's
available.
Let's save it for spoilers.
Okay. We'll talk. Yeah, but there's some Maxwell Lordy stuff that they do. I don't know. To be fair, like the comic book logic of this, that it breaks or doesn't follow, I don't care.
No.
Like I don't care if the Invisible Jet isn't the exact Invisible Jet or he's not.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
People there are people out here like I think there are plenty of legitimate criticisms of this movie, but I
Yeah.
think someone going, "Oh, how can she lasso a lightning bolt?
Who
It's crazy." Well, why can Superman fly? Who cares? Why can Batman build 1 million bat planes and fly them around and nobody notices?
Yeah,
It's fine. It's
exactly.
comic book. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I think there are, I think that's kind of fun, But
agree.
yeah. But yeah, like what I was going to say, I didn't really think of Maxwell Lord as Donald Trump light, more that he was just kind of like greasy 80s businessman.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Which
That's
is
more-
what Donald Trump is, but
Yeah, sure.
but
Well,
like
that's-
he's just
well,
more prominent
But
now.
if you do look at like the parallels of like the Donald Trump that existed then, and not just him, but like
Yeah.
others and like pyramid schemes and just like shonky businessmen and like live your dreams, but it's just all fueled by like cocaine and stock.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But there's nothing behind it.
No, that's
there's
right.
There's a lot of that.
There was a lot of that, and I think he's just an amalgamation of
Yeah.
sort of many of those people. I think mostly it's a coincidence, and people are inventing the parallels in their head.
I don't think it's a coincidence.
All right then,
Yeah,
well.
but it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter.
ultimately, yeah.
But I also feel like the reason this is set in the 80s is probably also because they're like, this
I
is
saw
a,
the X-Men that was set in the 80s and
Yeah.
went, what if we did that?
I think they were like, I think it might also partly be because maybe Patty Jenkins, the producers, like they read the Wonder Woman comics in the 80s,
Sure,
or
yeah.
they have fond memories of that era. But I think it also is like, well, we need this to be a point of difference.
Yes.
And the modern day is also kind of played out. So let's just,
Yeah.
the 80s is a decade everybody loves and thinks is crazy kind of thing.
I didn't like it.
Okay, then.
Well, I don't really remember it, but I didn't like it. What else we got here, Mason? Because it's not just Maxwell Lord. We've also got Cheetah.
Mm-hmm.
I like Kristen Wiig,
yes.
But it was one of those things where it's like one of those kind of needs to go because even though it's very long,
Oh, one of the villains.
yeah, I
Right.
don't think it's balanced well, and I don't know. I just didn't feel like the lessons that they learnt or anything, or the screen time that they got, didn't really kind of add up to much as a whole. Maybe I don't know whether that's accurate. Also, she turned into a cheetah,
She sure did, yeah.
which I know some people hate that look. It's not
Yeah.
spoilers in the trailer, but
Uh-huh.
she turns into a cheetah at some point. But like I think though, having seen like Cats or
Mm-hmm.
trailers for Cats, I see that and I'm like, this is better, so this is all right.
Oh, I see. Sure, right.
I wasn't like really offended by it. Or
I didn't
anything
really
like that.
feel her. She was particularly cheetah-esque.
No. Well, she did ask for vague cheetah
she did.
powers or whatever.
Yeah, that's true,
or
yeah.
whatever
That
happened.
is true, yeah.
That got her there. But this also does the thing that a couple of superhero movies do, in particular Superman 2 and Spider-Man 2, where it's like, my powers aren't working properly or whatever.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Do you think that's intentional?
How do you mean?
Well, like just as like a throwback to like, in particular Superman 2, where he gives up his powers for like a greater fucking...
No, I think it's. Oh, maybe, but I felt it was more a case of like, we've reached a point where maybe she is probably too powerful to be interesting.
Yeah, right.
Or like it's like Iron Man 3 or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
if he's just gadgets and suits or whatever, strip it away and then show that there's still an interesting character without all of
Yes,
that kind
okay.
of thing.
And do you think that worked though?
Not really.
Okay,
No.
fair enough. No, I thought it added some, some vulnerability.
Yeah,
like physical
But
vulnerability.
I think the idea of it kind of, when we go into the third act, I think that setup didn't really.
Yeah.
It didn't really flow properly into the third act. We'll talk about it in spoilers. Maybe can you
Yeah,
make a note
I
of
think
that?
I know what you mean, and if I
It
think-
sort of rendered the concept kind of pointless.
yes, yeah, I think I agree with that. If we're talking about the same thing,
James, I think we're
Yeah.
on the same wavelength.
Well, that-
I think we're on the same strip of VHS tape.
we definitely are. But let's talk about the fight scenes though, because obviously she's depowered for some of this. Though I feel like the White House fight scene is pretty good.
I think so too,
There's a
yeah.
good pairing between her and Steve
Trevor.
Thank you. It's Steve Trevor and Chris. Which one is he?
He's Chris Pine.
But they both play Steves and their both names are Chris.
Yes.
It's different, and they're both men from the past.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It is. It's a real minefield. It's a real World War I era minefield.
or
you know?
World War II.
That's right.
Yeah. So I think the White House scene is good. There's one on the road which is kind of Indiana Jones-esque.
Yeah, which
It's got that Raiders kind of quality to it.
it's got a Raiders kind of quality, and I think that it was probably intended to replicate the trench scene in Wonder Woman 1, the first Wonder Woman.
But nothing in this does anything like that.
No, it does not. No.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's any...
Also, there's some incredibly wonky CGI in that.
some red green screen, blue screen.
in the highway chase.
Yeah.
Including a moment where a Wonder Woman jumps out of the car that she's in to start running along the road.
Okay.
And looks like the aforementioned Wile E. Coyote. Or Roadrunner.
Whatever, whoever you're after. So no, I agree. I think there's... And then there's like a cheetah fight, which is fine. It's just like
It's in
people,
the dark and
like
it's
people
kind of
bouncing around and
blue and it's
whatever.
people bouncing around. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
so-
not there need. Here's a thought I had while it was happening and afterwards. Comic book movies generally, not just DC, but a lot of them need an ending guy.
Yeah, right.
You need, and I'll happy to volunteer.
Yep.
Or somebody who's qualified.
Yeah, someone better.
But just there needs to be a guy who they bring him in or her or whoever who just is given the pieces of what has been before in the movie.
Yeah.
And
Okay, I got it. Magic amulet.
yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, you got a new suit or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And
cool.
they have a briefcase and they open the briefcase and they just in there's just a piece of paper and it says don't do big blue light in the sky or big grey rock man or dark.
I've seen
grey.
what they're doing on this with a blue light. We'll talk about it. But I think they tried to sneak one in.
They
as
did,
if we
didn't
would
they? Yeah.
notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, we don't really need an ending guy more so than we need that piece of paper.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe it's just a guy and he's like the president's aide and he's just nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to be that guy because I am more qualified for
You have to
that
show
role.
you did for
particularly.
that.
I guess I could, yeah. And he just carries a briefcase that's handcuffed to his wrist.
Yeah.
And then he goes to the movie set and he opens it up and it's got the piece of paper that says don't do all this crap
Yeah, that's
again
right.
and over and
Maybe
over
you
again.
fill in the blank.
Yeah.
Use the blank, could be crystal, amulet, magic
Yeah,
staff,
sure,
whatever,
sure.
to defeat the whatever.
Yeah.
Earlier in the movie, you picked up blank. Maybe
Sure.
you could use it too.
Chicken suit.
Chicken suit.
Fanny pack.
Fanny pack.
Yeah.
Fun montage.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's there's also been I think very valid criticisms of handling of other nationalities, in particular like Middle Eastern cultures.
Yeah.
Where it's just like making very kind of like sweeping generalizations and and like attributing border walls to, to other countries. Not that those things haven't existed
Sure, yeah,
before,
yeah.
but yeah. Again, this is like a political area that I'm not
Yeah.
familiar with, but I can totally see where that's coming from.
And I
also.
yeah,
I don't
know.
think it's intentional.
No, and I
obviously,
understand
but-
that it's like, well, there were Middle East tensions in the 80s, so let's
Yeah.
put that in, but also didn't have to.
But they did.
They did. They sure did.
Yeah, but like obviously there were oil grabs in the 80s and people like this did exist. But yeah, it is kind of having like just that inclusion. I guess it's a little bit odd. Should we just do spoilers?
Okay, let's give it a judgment. What do you think, James?
Look, coming out of it, I'm like, I like the Chris Reeve elements of it, and it's like fun and light. And the post credits is like, it means nothing, but it's like, oh yeah, okay. And also there's some Themyscira stuff which I really enjoyed.
Sure.
I can't again. This one
The Vague Olympics.
the Vague Olympics.
That's what I call them. The spectacular but also vague Olympics, where it's like you've got to run this race, and it's a series of catapults and pulleys
Can
and,
I get
and
a
archery
horse?
tricks, and you can get a
For
horse.
some of it though.
Yeah. You got to swim to the horse, though. Obviously, Yeah.
But so somebody mentioned this and I don't know who, but the fact that they should lean more into that Greek heritage stuff. You know what I mean? Or wherever it's
Their
supposed
culture,
to be.
James.
Their
It's
culture.
from their culture.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there is a whole lot, like they kind of touch upon like the magic wishing rock is like a god, is attributed to a god that they never fully like delve into or
Yeah,
anything like that. And it's like, what other gods are out there? Like you talk about them, but who are they?
I think. Look, that's something that maybe we'll say immediately into spoilers. But I'm going to say. It's not the worst movie ever. I'm going to say it's the best movie ever.
Look,
Grudgingly,
yeah.
if this were a movie, if we were going to break our rule and put something square in the middle and say this is just a movie,
Yeah,
I think this might be this year's just a movie.
we can't.
Yeah, but we can't. So I'm going to say best movie ever just because I enjoyed some back and forth between the main characters.
It's a huge swing, by the way. Like this entire thing, it's going for like a particular
we haven't mentioned
aesthetic.
Pedro Pascal really, but I enjoyed him chewing some scenery.
Yeah, totally.
Just going absolutely mad. I'm going to say I enjoyed more of it than I didn't, but I
don't want to watch this again.
Yeah, I wouldn't rush out to cinemas. I mean, if you've got HBO Max, and also, again, I did see it at cinemas, and so did you.
So did I,
Our perceptions of this, were not swayed by the idea that we were watching it at home and we could look at our phones or whatever. So
This would have greatly been affected if I wasn't in a cinema, I think. And
Yeah.
I think that's also a lot of the, some of the criticism I think could also come from that. Because it was released in like UK cinemas in Europe. But
Yeah.
the pushback only seemed to come from the home release.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
This is one of those.
Some of the pushbacks coming from the cinemas, baby.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, but
Yeah.
no, not all of it, but you know what I mean. But yeah, this is This is why I'm glad I don't do reviews, so I can think about it and be like, and then I'm like 4 days later, I'm like, wait a minute. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't think about it. I'm like, Magic Wishing Man. Wait a minute.
All right, well, I'm gonna say
That's not what I had a problem with.
I'm
but-
going to say best movie ever with a lot of reservations.
Yeah.
And if you're in a situation where your only option is to go to cinemas, and that could be a dangerous proposition, don't risk it. I
Don't
reckon.
do it.
Yeah,
What are you, an idiot?
yeah. That's my new rating system. Not worth dying for.
Yeah, that's great. I love that.
Pretty good, right?
I don't think that. Is there any movie that you'd be like, get out there, mate?
Yeah, Tenet.
Yeah, is there a better movie though?
No.
There's not a better movie.
When I was getting that calendar.
yeah. Oh, there was a Tenet calendar.
No, oh my god! I
you
wish
flip it backwards.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! Inversion.
That's money on the table, Christopher Nolan. If you're listening, you're not, but you definitely do that. Or it's a 32-month calendar, and the months meet in the middle.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, right.
Why is it 32 months?
Because it's a 16-month calendar.
Oh,
so
yeah.
you've got
I forgot it was
so you've got
16.
8 months of wasted space.
Yeah.
but-
They put one picture for 4 months.
yeah, right.
That's outrageous.
It is outrageous,
It's like
isn't
a
it?
13-month
But anyway, I was going
calendar.
to say Tenet's was on Blu-ray and stuff, and I considered getting it because I'm like, should I watch this again with the subtitles on and just see if it holds up better? I'll wait.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Jack Howard's done a bunch of interesting videos on him. Do you know him?
No.
Yeah, he's a good YouTuber. He does like a podcast with Mark Kermode.
Ah.
He really likes it and he's really like delved into the specifics of how it works. And
Okay.
he kind of reframed where certain scenes may have actually appeared within the timeline.
Okay.
I don't think it made me enjoy it like more
Yeah.
than I did, but it did make
Oh.
me like understand some things that I might have missed the first time, which was probably everything.
Because the sound was bad. Because the sound was so bad.
Yeah.
Okay, spoilers.
Spoilers.
Did you say best movie ever, worst movie ever?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to give you but just
Not worth dying, though.
Not worth. Definitely not.
No
Only
Tenet.
Tenet.
Only Tenet, obviously.
Yeah.
I was going to say initially. Okay, so the premise.
Yes.
So the plot of this is resting upon a magic wishing stone.
Yeah.
That initially, if you find also it's like every civilization that got this magic wishing stone was destroyed, and it was definitely the wishing stone.
The Aztecs.
The Mayans, they died of the wishing stone, not the Spanish showing up and killing them all.
Maybe they wished for the Spanish.
To kill them all.
No, because then they would have got like a weird backlash.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
The
so you get the wishing stone. You get the wishing stone, and if you hold it, and
Maybe
you,
they'd wished for some delightful Spanish food.
Some tapas.
But it came with the Spanish killing them all.
they were like, man, I would really love some tapas. And then the Spanish were like, well, I'm going to tapas you on the back of the head with this big axe. That's what's going to happen. Whatever we used was where the Spanish from that era. Swords? Swords and cannons.
Whatever we use,
Whatever
here
we
we
use
come.
currently. Yeah, we're going to get ya. Anyway, you hold it, you wish for something, and you get your wish, but then you lose the thing that is most valuable to you. That is the rule that is only really... It's a bit vague up until about the middle of the movie.
From when they tell you.
When they tell you exactly how it works.
I had an idea of what was happening. What was the blowback of the guy who got the coffee?
It was too hot.
Was it?
Yeah.
I missed that.
Okay, he was like, this is hot.
So it's like so it's not like high stakes. It's not like I wish for a coffee and it's like, well, you wish for a coffee, but also we're shooting your grandma into the sun. It's like, those aren't equivalent.
We're sending the Spanish after your grandma.
Tapas.
That's the thing. It's a little bit vague.
I can't believe I missed
anyway,
that. That's good detail.
It doesn't. I guess it doesn't really. Again, it's one of those things. It doesn't ultimately really matter. But it would have been nice to know definitively: is your wish, is the thing you the thing you lose equivalent to what you wish for in terms of scale?
I guess.
So, like, if you wished for a bag of chips, do you get the bag of chips, but the milk in your
There's
fridge
a poo
goes
in the
off?
bottom.
Oh, okay.
There's a poo in the bottom of the
much
chips.
worse and weirder.
Yeah.
Or, again, are you killed by the Spanish? Like, it's...
I think it's equivalent.
Yeah, okay, right.
Yeah.
So the reason that Steve Trevor comes back,
Yeah.
and I was wrong, I'll grant you, but I feel
You
I'm
were
pretty
somewhat
close.
right, though. There were some things yeah.
So she wished for Steve Trevor to come back, but in exchange, she lost her powers, and also Steve didn't really come back. His spirit came back, and also
He stole a man's body.
he stole a man's body. Which, when you think of, and again, that's why again it felt like a weird, one-dimensional kind of child story, because they were like, I don't know if I can give you up, Steve, because I love you so much, and that's the most important thing, because I've been fighting evil for a long time, and I deserve this one thing. And it's like, you've stolen a man's body.
Yeah.
Like, why you? It's
not cool.
It's not cool.
But I guess that's the lesson, though, right? Don't steal a man's body.
Don't steal a man's body.
Yeah.
Because imagine if her and Steve had been like, yeah, that's fine, actually. Like, imagine any kind of moral judgment she makes in any of the subsequent movies, or like Batman v Superman or Justice League or whatever. She'd be like, we've got to bring this person to justice. And it'd be like, yeah, remember the time you stole that man's body? She's
like, but
he's
I gave
dead.
it, I gave
he's
it
dead.
back. I gave
He's
it
dead
back.
now.
I gave it back, and he had a beautiful scarf at the end.
Yeah, that's right.
We had a nod and a wink.
So it's all right then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's.
But anyway, so
where do you go? Doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter. So anyway, you get one wish, except when you don't.
Except when you don't. I'm fine with like the logic of whatever, except for that bit where it's like you get two.
So then,
just grab someone else and go. Just wish this for me.
So anyway, Maxwell Lord has been researching the stone, and he's decided to do the classic "I wish for more wishes" situation, but instead he's decided to loophole around it by saying, "I wish I was the wishing stone." Then, what he can do is he can get other people to wish for things that they want, and then in exchange, he takes the valued thing and he gets it.
But it's like, but he gets to choose. He's like, well, I get you a security.
What's in it for this god besides
nothing? He just likes fucking around, mate. I thought they were going to be like, it's Loki, and I'm like, oh, come on,
I think it might be a lady god.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah,
They don't really delve into it. They name the god, but I don't know the specifics of it. I think, and she's like, it's a god, and I'm like, you got to sort.
Who else was it going to be?
You'll be all right.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's like, okay, I'm gonna wish for I want everybody to wish for more stuff, and then I'll ultimately, what do I get? More of everything. I get all the stuff, and what was his end game?
Everything. He wanted the world or whatever.
Wanted the world, I guess. Yeah.
That's why he hated his son, but he didn't.
I also didn't. Well, then that's also the thing. Like the idea at the end, Wonder Woman's like, but don't you love your son? And he's like, I do. I mean, I didn't love him up until this point.
I yelled at him that time.
I yelled at him a lot, and I've ignored him essentially his entire life so I could get more stuff. But now that I'm on the verge of having everything, I'm like, no, I do love him.
Yes.
So I'll just give up everything, and I'll renounce all my wishes.
And nobody goes to jail because everyone went crazy. It's all right.
Also, this sort of marks the idea that this movie isn't set in the Snyderverse, really, because otherwise in Man of Steel, they'd be like, Superman's the craziest thing we've ever seen, except for that time we all wished for stuff and it all came true and we nearly ended the world in nuclear holocaust. And
I was thinking about that.
Because it's not a thing where the movie ends and everybody forgets about it.
I think it might be, though. One of those things is like, they don't say this, but it would have to be, where like as time progresses, it's just like a vague thing that you sort of
because of
remember.
Because of wishing
magic.
Because of the Wishmaster.
But there's even things like there's stuff that they don't break, because in this Wonder Woman can fly, but they don't. It's not really clear whether she can or can't in like the future movie. So it's like they didn't really step on that too much. But yeah, it's not. I don't think it breaks anything too egregiously.
No,
I think.
Yeah.
Not that I give a fuck anyway if it did. If I'm honest.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I don't care.
Yeah, it was the 80s. Crazy stuff was happening in the 80s.
Crazy stuff.
Don't even worry about it.
But in terms of like the Maxwell Lord stuff,
yes,
the few like sometimes he's a businessman.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes he isn't, but he mostly is, maybe. I don't know. But one of the things he mentions is like his body's falling apart, and he's like, I'll just steal an organ, I'll get another organs. And isn't there a version of Maxwell Lord that does that? Or is that Ra's al Ghul who's stealing organs and stuff?
You're thinking of Vandal Savage.
Okay, I am thinking of Vandal Savage. Does he do that, though, at all?
Maxwell Lord?
Yeah,
I don't believe so, no.
Okay, well, then they didn't do that.
Could have been Vandal Savage.
Yeah, they could have been Vandal Savage.
Maybe would make more sense.
Yeah, but they didn't do that,
They didn't do
Mason.
that. Thoughts about this movie? I've got them.
I know
Don't
you
even worry
do.
about them. I was going to say, is this the first supervillain that nearly destroyed the entire world because he peed himself that time?
It might have been, yeah. Let me think.
Maybe Lex Luthor's probably done
He's
it
probably
as well.
peed himself, but if he was in a power arm, he might have got away with it.
That's true.
I reckon if Superman hit him real hard, like the sonic pulse of it would probably make him piss himself.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. Superman could probably, do an incredible brown note.
Yeah,
he could do a super brown note. Oh boy,
is that a real thing?
No, it's not a real thing.
Oh, I wish it
oh
was.
boy, but if anybody could do it, Superman. Oh boy.
So the other thing is there's So you mentioned it earlier. We were both going to come back to it, and maybe we thought of the same thing. So her powers are draining, and then she's like, I have to defeat Cheetah and Maxwell Lord while he stands in a blue light.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
But good thing I've got this armor that flies.
Yeah.
But it's like you've got all your powers back. Why do you even need that at this point?
And it's a suit that... I'm not entirely sure that the suit can fly itself. It's just got big wings on it.
I think it can.
Okay, well then... But
It doesn't matter because she can fly at that point as
yeah,
well.
no, I feel like this is kind of maybe an editing... Oh, I was going to say also, side note to that. I wonder if the idea behind her flying in this is she can just sort of fly for a bit.
I thought it was like catching wind currents and whipping stuff.
Yeah, it's not like Superman flying where she can just shoot in orbit.
Though there is a bit of like... Yeah, it seems like she's more like riding the wind kind of thing.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Like, when... By the time she gets to the fight with Cheetah, she both has the golden chicken suit, which is the wings of which are almost immediately destroyed by Cheetah, but also she does have all her powers back.
Yes.
So it's not... There's no big dramatic reveal, or there's no... The sacrifice has already been made, which saps all the dramatic tension.
Yeah.
Like, maybe they... And again, like, we're certainly not movie doctors, James, but...
Yes, we're not.
Sorry to reveal that so late.
There's probably
in the
a YouTube channel. It's like The Movie Doctor, and it's like, I talk about movies and I'm a doctor.
Oh, yeah.
And I bet it's real boring.
I meant more like a script doctor. But
Oh.
Yeah.
Let me check out The Movie Doctor.
Okay, see if the movie doctor is there.
I can do 8 years of medical school and then I'll become the movie doctor.
We can do a collab with the movie doctor.
We could.
But I feel like, wouldn't it make more sense if she goes into the battle, she's like, I've lost all my powers, but I've got this golden chicken suit, and I'm probably going to die in this battle, and I'm going to crash.
Oh, no.
Because my wings have been blown off or whatever. And then somewhere else, Steve Trevor announces, like, he makes the sacrifice.
Yeah, right.
Or he's like in a plane and he's like, I'm here and you've got to make the sacrifice or
And
whatever.
she's like, not the plane thing again. He's like, yeah, again.
Again, this is teaching you a valuable lesson about plane safety. And then the sacrifice is made like when she's hurtling towards the ground or something, and we're like, maybe she's gonna die, and or she's gonna live, and then Cheetah's gonna beat her
Like
head
if you
in or
don't
whatever.
think the Hulk can turn into the Hulk or whatever, kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
that. But yeah, I get you. I like that.
But then it was like, well,
She turns up fully powered with a magic suit.
yeah,
Yeah.
and she's gonna fight a woman who's
A cat.
a bit strong, I guess. She's pretty
I
strong.
think she's equivalent too.
Yeah,
That's
right.
because she wishes that whatever.
yeah, sure.
Yeah. But I thought at one point what was happening was the caveat to the wishes was that Cheetah was draining her powers.
I thought that too.
But that's not what it was.
No.
It was a different wishing man. thing.
Different wishing man. She got a second wish. But I think
Yes.
I think the rule is that you could get one wish from the wishing stone, but when
you get a wishing man wish.
Yeah, when then you also get a wishing man wish. So if you'd never like Coffee Cup Guy would have gotten a second wish, but if you'd never wished for something on the stone beforehand, you would only get the wishing man wish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Try a wishing man wish.
We don't.
No, because I'd have to renounce my wish.
It's true.
Speaking of, it's pretty optimistic to think that people would give up all their wishes.
Like, and it's, the amount of people who'd be like, I wish I had $1 million. Oh, but your dad's dead. I don't care. I've thought about it. And
No, because the wishing man knows.
the wishing man knows, right?
He'd
right.
take your mum.
No,
who
I
you
think
love.
some people are pretty clever. But also, it's sort of,
I wish I had $1 million and my dad was dead. There, I did it.
well, then your dad's going to live forever. He's going to mooch off you $1 million. That's not enough money for forever.
It's not now.
You're in the poorhouse now.
Oh, boo.
Also, when Maxwell Lord is in the particle beam and he's like, your wishes are granted, your wishes are granted. He doesn't actually have any control over that, because when his son comes up to him earlier and says, "Dad, I wish you had the best of everything" or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
he get that wish is
freaks him.
granted.
Yeah.
And it freaks. So surely there'd be some people who are absolutely sick of seeing Maxwell Lord on television who would see him going, "I'll grant any wish you desire," and they'd be like, "I wish this guy would go away forever."
And he's like, the twist of the wish is that I won't go away.
Oh no! What poetic irony! Or like anybody who'd be like, "I wish this broadcast would stop," or "I wish, I wish there's some bad stuff happening, and I wish the bad stuff would stop happening."
Yeah.
Like when you, and again, it's
Because it's literally everybody as well. So
and that's why it felt like kind of story time.
Yeah.
Because it like,
maybe somebody wished it to stop and that was how it stopped.
or maybe somebody wished how it was stopped, and that's why it kept going because of irony.
Yeah, well, maybe it was like some people like, I hate this guy and get rid of him, and other people like, I wish this guy would do this forever, so it cancelled out or something. I don't know.
That's right.
I don't have answers to
Yeah.
when billions of people made wishes.
Maybe one guy said, I wish this guy would go away forever, and the other guy was like, I wish I had a farm, and all these animals appeared, and it cancelled.
It might have cancelled, might have
Yeah.
been somewhere in the middle, yeah. So they did the magic jet, I guess, didn't they?
Yep.
The only problem I had with that was it was just like, by the way, I can turn things invisible. It's like, oh, can you?
Yeah.
Is that a thing that you can do?
Yeah.
Yes. So I know they probably were going to be like, can we do a gem? Nah, there's sort of a gem already, so we can't do a gem.
Yeah, for
I think
sure.
like a magic like item would have probably worked better, but there was already a magic item.
Yeah, or and you know, you do again. This movie is too long, and you need to have had.
You could be like, this is sweet new 80s tech and it's invisible.
Yeah, like
do
I think
that.
a lot of the stuff in this movie was built around the idea of if we go another way, it'll add another 20 minutes to the runtime, and so like and that's it's already too long. Like I think the idea of if she'd wish Steve Trevor came back to life and he just appeared in the streets,
Yeah.
he would immediately get arrested because he's like, what world is this? And then they would have to be like a breakout of prison scene,
Yeah,
and that
right.
would add too much. So if they go, he woke up in the body of this guy, and there's
He's thought about it for a bit.
he thought about it for a bit, and there's newspapers and whatever and TV, and he figured everything out, and then he just went out into the world. Then it's fine, and it saves a lot of time.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably the same with the jet. They could have gone like, okay, well, there's a metal in Themyscira, and you can make, and it's invisible, and you can make anything out of it, and they built a boat, and we've rebuilt it into a plane or whatever, and now
Yeah.
it's an invisible plane. Cool, but that would add another 20 minutes. So just be
Exactly.
like, I can rub my hands together and make this invisible, and now we've got.
I would make Cheetah invisible. And she's like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, no one sees you, man.
Yeah, that's right.
You know,
It's
you're
a metaphor.
You're
Loser,
beautiful.
you're a
Yeah,
loser.
You're beautiful, but no one gives a shit.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I didn't really have a problem with the jet being fueled up. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Because I know some people are like, why would the jet be fueled up? Also, apparently it is a thing. That's like they often have them ready to go.
Well, maybe there was going to be a parade tomorrow.
Yeah.
It was the 4th of July.
Exactly.
So they fueled it up for the 4th of
Yeah.
July. They're gonna fly it about and,
Yes.
and have smoke come out the back.
They could have come in and karate chopped some pilots on the back of the neck and
Yes.
stole the plane. That's it. But then there's another 20 minutes
Exactly, yeah.
of them getting the karate chop wrong
And-
because
and-
she's deep hours. She can't hit it.
And then there's 20 more minutes of those pilots going through, like, physical therapy.
I thought you were going to say airport security. but
Airport
there-
security,
But there
also-
wasn't any in the 80s.
No, you could just bring a gun.
There wasn't even an airport. You'd literally get out of your car and step onto a plane.
Yeah.
I think there might have been a fence that you had to climb over,
Yeah.
but that was it. So the other thing is, I think about the jet like that would be so beyond him. Like they're not the same.
Oh, how
Do
can
you
he
know what I
fly
mean?
it?
No,
Right.
he just like whatever. It's a comic book movie, but like
Yeah.
those aren't equivalent. That would be like if I drove a car and then they went fly a jet. I'd be like, I understand some of these because he's not like, oh, this is that and this is that. He's just fucking flicking switches and he's like, oh, yeah, I got it, whatever.
Whatever,
it doesn't matter.
My suspension of disbelief was still intact at that point,
Yeah.
I think. And I'm like, okay, well, he's puzzling stuff out and he's flicking the correct switches
Yeah,
or
he
whatever.
is,
So
isn't
that's
he?
fine, yeah.
So anyway, I've just written here, I recognize a blue laser when I see it. You can't trick me. It was a blue laser. I know it was contained in like a chamber.
Yeah, yeah.
But come on, man.
Yeah.
And she's yelling out to him
Yeah, yeah.
about remember who you are or whatever the fuck.
Oh, you know what I didn't believe in, James, is
What's
that
that?
it was a fighter jet, but the seats were side by side.
Oh yeah.
Should have been
One
in a
but
row.
then they can't hold hands.
Yeah, that's true.
And when like
No, they could have put the hand behind the
yeah,
back.
but then they can't look at the fireworks together properly.
Yeah. And then Wonder Woman
They're like,
goes,
you seeing this? No, I'm seeing the back of your chair.
and then Wonder Woman goes to like grab his hand and he does the hair thing. He does the
Slick.
slick, you know.
God, he's good.
'Cause he's learned it. He's learned it. He's learned it on the telly.
He probably saw it while he was doing a Rubik's Cube.
Hmm.
So anyway, she can fly. There's a sunshine music. I didn't really like it. I feel like that's placeholder. I love that theme, but I feel like it's placeholder music. And they went, we didn't make a better version of this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to hear it because it's a good song, but it's already in other movies and trailers and whatever. All in all, anyway, they might make 3, but Patty Jenkins is doing a Star Wars and they haven't locked
Oh,
anything
yeah,
in.
she
and-
said, Patty Jenkins said, I think, I probably won't direct it, but I have 2 more stories ready to go.
Okay, there you go.
And I'm like, all right. Because this is Patty
I like
Jenkins,
the
and this
first one.
is Patty Jenkins and Jeff Johns, who is like
Yeah.
the chief creative officer of DC Comics. So that's this script was fascinating to me.
Yeah, well, she didn't apparently write the first one, which I didn't know.
Hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I think they probably should have leaned more into like the Donna, Superman, Linda
Carter.
Carter, Wonder
Yeah.
Woman stuff, as opposed to like all the different directions that they went.
Hmm.
You could just do solidly like the cheetah story, like they're friends and then a cursed whatever, and she turns into a cheetah,
Yeah.
and then a blue light, whatever.
Uh-huh.
I think it was.
Too many villains.
Too many everything.
Yeah.
It wasn't even the villains. I think it was just too many everything. For me.
Also, it was also a magic stone that's going to end the world. Like that's not a fresh. We've had a decade of that.
What do you want? What do you want? A magic potato? What do you want?
Yeah, a magic potato.
A magic Irish potato.
Yes.
Great. Anything else?
Post mid-credit sequence.
Oh yeah, Linda Carter.
Linda Carter.
It means nothing.
It means nothing.
But it's fun.
It is
It's like a
fun.
fun
But
callback.
also, I think that it was. I love Linda Carter's great, and I thought again it was a very clunky. It felt very clunky, not even McClunky, which I'm well in favor of. But just when they're like, "Oh, that's a lovely name," and she went, "Thank you. It's from my culture."
Oh yeah, right.
Just say it's Greek. It's fine. It's Greek.
Yeah, she's got an American accent. So
And they'd be like, "But
American.
you're not Greek. You're all American. You're wearing stars and stripes underpants."
Yeah, we
and she'd
know
be
what
like,
you're
"How
about."
dare you?" And then she'd just tear up the city.
Yeah, that's right. She was the one who was getting beat up by dudes. Remember earlier in the movie, there was a flashback?
Oh yeah, that's right. The 300 dudes, I guess.
I think it was all the dudes from 300.
Yeah.
They kept those abs.
David Wenham.
David Wenham was in it. We're just putting the boot in. Good thing she had that golden armored eagle suit.
Yeah, I agree.
Got some tweets here. This is
ahead.
from Mr. Kelspert getting freaky. # Weekly Planet Pod. Thought Wonder Woman 1984 was just okay. Some highlights, but a lot of weird choices. I bet James loved the scene where she learns to fly using music from Sunshine, aka James and Mason's favorite movie. Guess what? I didn't love it. I liked the scene, but I didn't love that.
Yeah.
Andrew Rust says, # Weekly Planet Pod. Is it just me or was Wonder Woman 1984 bad? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Sassy Coward says, I mean, maybe it was bad. That's what I meant. Yeah. Says, # Weekly Planet Pod. So Wonder Woman just murdered those robbers at the beginning after she caught them. The green screening also looked incredibly disconnected from the world. Still, I love the invisible plane and flight.
We
Even
didn't
though
talk
it
about
was
the opening
poorly
sequence,
justified.
which I thought was quite fun.
Which one was that?
Like she's doing Spider-Man-esque, Superman-esque. I'm just saving people and whatever.
Yeah,
but
cool.
again, that one bank robber or jewelry robber, he really escalated from like, I'm robbing this jewelry store to I will murder this child.
Yeah, that's true. He didn't think that
Pretty
through.
cool.
Did she murder them? I thought she just tied him up. I didn't
Yeah, she
know.
beat him up. She beat him up and tied
That's
him up.
good that
Yeah,
she
yeah.
beat him up.
Yeah.
Cool. All in all, let's talk about this on a commentary in 3 years.
Okay, cool.
What do you think?
You think you want to do a commentary on this?
Not anytime soon.
Okay, then great.
you?
No. Oh, no, I do.
Come on, man.
Pedro Pascal's out there. He's doing some mugging.
But we just did it.
I'm not
we Just
now.
watched it. That's what I mean. Can we
Yeah.
do it when the next one's out, whenever that
Yeah,
is?
okay, we'll do it then.
Okay, cool. Thank
Sweet.
God. So go on.
What do you think about the costuming? I quite liked it. I
I
think
like the
that-
80s stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't feel like egregiously 80s.
Didn't it?
Or wrong. I mean, it
Oh, no,
was.
yeah.
But it felt like accurate, I guess, is what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I think they really. It's Lindy Hemming who does. She did Casino Royale. She did some of the
really?
other Bond movies. She might have done The Matrix.
I did The Matrix. That was me.
Did you?
Yeah.
She did the costume from GoldenEye Casino Royale.
Okay, there you go.
And it said all the Nolan Batman movies.
That makes sense.
Yeah. But I think they were like, just go all out, just go
Yeah.
nuts. I don't think the 80s was that 80s.
No.
Like my memories of the 80s are quite foggy, but
Yeah.
I don't think they were ever that 80s.
You didn't have a fanny pack / bum bag?
No, I did have a fanny pack and a
I had
bum
one
bag.
too.
Yeah.
Did you keep your pogs in there?
No, I think Pogs were after my time. Probably kept G.I. Joe action figures in there.
I bet you did, just in case.
And a gun. A real gun.
A real gun?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah, anyway,
I didn't
good.
think that was allowed.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that being said, I think all like Pedro Pascal's suits were bad, but they were 80s bad. So
When they supposed to be, that was the idea.
yeah.
It reminded me a bit of Glow. There's like
Oh,
that
yeah, no, for sure,
The
yeah.
Glow's more like sad. Like sad
Yeah.
leg warmers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That kind of
Also,
vibe.
I thought Steve Trevor's best look was the one where he pushed the sleeves up on the suit.
It did
and
look-
she's like, no.
Yeah. And he's like, come on, man. That was sick.
He was sick. You're
Yeah.
absolutely
All
right.
right. Here we go. What we read and what we're going to read.
Yeah.
Here we go. Theme song. I'm doing the theme. What are we reading today? Hey man, we're in the what we're reading section
better
where
believe
we
we
talk
are.
about what we've been reading and watching or doing. And Mason and I both watched Soul, probably.
We absolutely did because it's free on Disney Plus if you've got Disney Plus.
And paying for it. It was good.
I liked it too.
I liked it.
That being said, I did watch it, and then later on in the day, I thought to myself, it's pretty late. Where did all the time go? And I went, I watched the movie Soul.
I watched the movie Soul.
Yeah, but it's good. Jamie Foxx is sort of a middle-aged jazz beau. He's
Jazzing it up.
and he's a music teacher, and he had big dreams to become a jazz great, I guess, or a
But he sucks. Not at jazz.
No, but life.
Life.
That's right.
He needs to be better at it.
But then he gets people know this from the summary, but then he gets a gig with
Yeah.
a jazz a bigwig, and he's like, I'm so excited, I'm gonna die.
I love your big wig.
I'm gonna fall down a manhole cover. I'm
gonna die.
Not down a manhole.
Yeah.
Manhole.
And then there were some twists in here I didn't realize, like some other things that happen in terms of inhabiting bodies, which I was not familiar with.
Yeah.
Because I sort of watched the trailers, but maybe
There's more to it than the trailer.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
It's about music and life purpose, and
yes.
It's definitely one on the better end of Pixar films, and beautifully animated, and also different styles of like animation and design, which I think worked really well together.
Yeah, it's
because there's some afterlife stuff
Yeah,
and some.
it's some afterlife stuff, and like there's also more real world stuff than I thought there would be.
Okay, sure.
I thought it was going to be almost exclusively in
Ghost
the
stuff. Yeah, me
ghost
too,
stuff.
yeah.
But there's a lot in the real world, and just the
I like the real world stuff more as well, so I'm glad there was more. of it.
and the real world stuff's really come a long way.
Fuck, it's so
just,
good. It's
There's
crazy.
if you go through the credits, and you should because everybody worked
Yeah,
very
yeah.
hard on it. There's like a section for like sweaters. There's like a whole digital design team for like who did all the
right.
like the texture
God,
on the
it's
sweaters.
so good, isn't it? Yeah. It's like, it's interesting because they populate these hyper realistic worlds now that they weren't able to do.
Yeah.
With cartoonly proportioned people, and they strike that balance really, really well. It's very hard to do.
Yeah. Because they're not not photorealistic people, but they
Like their skin is,
and then they're not
and their clothes.
They're
like you
cartoon
said.
people, and it's not nightmarish. That is the twist there. And also there's like because the main character has like jazz greats on his wall, like pictures of Louis Armstrong and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's basically like the real versions. Like they haven't caricaturized them. But they still fit. I'm not like, why are you're in a crazy world and these people are real kind of
They've
thing.
done stuff like that before. I think Fred Willard, like he's in
Oh, he's in Wall-E, yeah.
Like he's just in it.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like they do kind of do stuff like that every now and then. I didn't even notice that. It's just all blended in the world for me.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think it also, look, I'm not like, I don't know a lot about music, but I think it represented that well, and just like I feel like it really kind of nailed that world, or at least a version of it.
Yeah, it seemed
to
to,
me.
yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
anything about jazz, but
Well, I'm on jazz great.
And?
So, yeah, it was pretty accurate, yeah.
wow.
Pretty good, right? Did we watch or anything else?
Yeah, man.
Go on.
I don't know. I'm reading comics. I don't know. What did I watch? I watched that Charlie Brooke has a new thing on Netflix.
Oh, Death of 2020. I haven't watched it yet.
I literally just watched it before you came.
Uh-huh.
It's not as good as
Black
The
Mirror.
Wipe.
Oh, okay, right.
He's not in it. Like you hear his voice because he's like interviewing people.
Oh, right.
And they use a lot of celebrities to like recap 2020. And,
So it's not a narrative.
I don't think you can do The Wipe because I think BBC does it and it doesn't really.
But this
work
isn't
for
a
me.
this isn't a story because it's got Hugh Grant playing a character,
Yeah,
right?
no, it's basically The Wipe, but
Yep.
it's with famous people,
right.
playing characters.
But he has kept in the woman who plays Philomena Kunk.
Yes.
The
she has a really emotional moment in it as well.
Oh, really?
Towards the end,
Okay.
which I really
So it is
like.
essentially white. The
It
white.
is white,
but
yes.
it's more instead of being like
And
British
he's not in it,
character
yeah.
actors. Okay, right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
a
it also does. I think it does heighten some characters a little bit too much at points. Like there's a
Right.
moment where Hugh Grant plays a historian, and he's like, "We haven't had like an event like this in history since the White Walkers took over Westeros," and they're like, "That wasn't a real thing. That was Game of Thrones." He's like, "I'm pretty sure it was real," and I'm like, "That to me doesn't feel like a lot of
right.
it feels like real people."
Sure,
But then
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, why would? Like it's not even that good a joke that you.
No, that's true.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
But other than that, it's pretty solid.
And it's
yeah.
reminding of us of the final
Yeah.
season of The Thing We Hate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, like, I think it should have Charlie Brooker in it.
Yeah.
Like doing the on-to-camera stuff.
Making jokes about Gangnam Style.
So I think he's really great. Like,
Yeah.
like in person. Like,
Yeah, no, you're
like
right.
as a persona, I think he's really engaging.
Yeah.
But like Samuel L. Jackson's really good. Steve from Stranger Things is in it.
Oh, yeah.
Leslie Jones is really like funny and aggressive in it. Philomena Crunk is amazing as always. So it's still good. Yeah.
Good, great.
I think
All right.
it will. I think it'll translate better internationally as well because the BBC Wipe or whatever he normally does, it's
Very British.
It's very British,
Like Donald Gleason.
like Domhnall Gleeson,
Like
the most
actor,
British actor,
Most British actor there is.
who is
yeah.
also. I know people have said he's from Ireland.
Oh, no.
But my understanding is that he lives in the British part of Ireland.
Whoa! But he's
Just
not
bec-
from there.
No, he's not.
from
Anyway,
there, yeah.
he grew up in Salisbury, so yeah, that's where he's from in England. Yeah, in a small British town. Yeah. I know we get emails about it, so I just want to clarify where we stand on where he's
For sure,
from.
yeah. That we ignore the emails.
Should we do the next
That's
segment
the
of the show?
letters.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I'm doing it. The classic one was
Letters, oh letters, we love you. Some letters, they're only a day away.
I know they're here right now. We're going to do letters.
Yeah, man. Reach the show. Hashtag Weekly Planet Pod on Twitter.
Reach
or,
out. We'll reach out to you.
Maybe. And then, or weeklyplanetpod@gmail.com.
I mean, that's easier.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I have to just sort of guess random email addresses.
You could do it.
Guess I could. But then I'd have to guess a random email address and they also have to listen to the podcast and they're interested in like the money that I'm smuggling out of Nigeria.
Yeah, that's a good point. What you could do, though,
Yeah.
if you just went Weekly Planet 69 or Weekly Planet Fan 69,
Yeah.
you could just go from there. Just variations on that. You probably
Yeah, probably that's
you hit a
probably
bunch
true.
of
Yeah.
people. What do you got?
Let's have a look. James.
Got any Domhnall Gleeson letters this week?
No, but I do have a Scottish letter. This is from Tommy. Hey, James and Meso.
Hey, I'm saying hey.
Okay, right.
That wasn't to you.
Thought you were objective.
You thought I was like-
It says Scotsman versus COVID.
Whoa.
Hey, James and Meso. Hey.
Hey.
Hey. I'm talking to you, James.
Oh,
Nah.
I was
just
talking
kidding.
to me.
Oh, okay, nice. I unfortunately got confirmed positive for COVID on Christmas Day.
Oh,
boy.
boo.
And things have been pretty crappy since then as I can't see any family or friends to cheer myself up. Luckily, I decided to buy myself a great Christmas present, which is a subscription to Big Sandwich. You guys have really cheered me up and are making things a lot more bearable. Thanks for all the laughter and keep up the great work. Can I be the official Scotsman of the channel?
100%.
Yeah.
If you are gonna pass, make sure you cancel that subscription. We don't want to be taking no dead man's money. Do you know what I mean?
Don't we?
No, Mason.
Wow.
We talked about
You've
this.
changed.
No, look, I'll
Were
say.
you visited by 3 ghosts,
No,
James?
I was saying
Because
that.
I was visited by 3 ghosts, and I'm like, get out of here. They're like, you all regret your decisions, and I'm like, well, they're my decisions to regret. You dumb old pricks with your stupid chains.
Where'd you get the chains from? The dumb old prick chains store.
Oh!
Hey. Anyway, I hope you're okay though.
Yeah,
for
I hope you're
real.
doing all right.
And thank you for the subscription.
Yeah,
But, we do hope you
very much
pull
appreciate it.
through,
I
yeah.
bet you're gonna bounce back.
Definitely. If you're shooting off emails, you're stronger than ever. Strong as an ox. Shooting
right.
off emails
That's
with
right.
COVID. Mm-hmm. Some James McDurp says suggestions for.
Did you say James McDurp?
Yep.
Nice.
For Mr. Sunday Movies and at Wikipedia Brown. Hashtag Weekly Planet Pod. You all should revisit Tron Legacy in the new year. The brand was shelved pretty much the instant Disney got Star Wars, and the rest is history. We'd love to hear y'all's take on the franchise as a whole. I think it was already shelved before that kind of happened. But wait, didn't Disney get a? There's always been a Disney franchise. Hasn't
Yes, it has, yeah.
Yeah. But I think it got shelved
Management
because it didn't
changed,
do
yeah.
well.
Yeah.
But you love that movie.
I do, yeah.
So we will talk about it when the new movie comes out.
It's not the greatest movie.
No, it's
but
the Greatest Showman
But
movie.
they've taken a real good crack at it.
Yeah.
And the soundtrack's amazing. They recently there's like a super deluxe edition of the soundtrack.
Yeah, right.
None of it's new songs, I think, but it's all in the one place, which is
One
important.
place.
Yeah.
Can you imagine finding music in the one place? How could you even do such a thing?
I don't know. Oh, also, FYI, you mentioned earlier the show. I nearly bought you the Joker soundtrack on vinyl. That's what it was. That present was nearly.
What is that, like haunting bathroom dance numbers?
Yeah, it's haunting bathroom dance numbers by some like Russian guy, whatever.
And then like that song by a pedophile.
yeah, Gary Glitter. It's all Gary Glitter.
I don't
yeah.
want that album. I'm glad you didn't buy it for me.
Yeah,
I do not want it.
Yeah.
Who's listening to the Joker soundtrack?
I don't know, but it was on the wall, and I'm like, ooh, maybe.
I think even if you love the Joker, you're not like, yeah, this is fucking where I'm at.
I think it's probably a lot of people expecting Gary Glitter as well.
Oh, okay.
Because the photo is Joker on the stairs.
Yeah, okay.
Doing his dance.
See on Spotify?
Gary
Check
Glitter.
that.
I don't want him to be.
No, I don't want him to be either. I'm just checking.
But
if
also,
he's
I
on
don't think he owns his.
No, I know he
rights, so
doesn't. I know that, yeah.
So he doesn't get any money. So
Yeah. Hope he goes to jail again. And for
Even though he's
longer.
currently in jail?
Yeah, but for more.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, he's on here.
Nice.
Well, I hope the money is going to somebody nice who's not a pedophile. Anyway, what's next?
Look, I got a bunch more emails, but this one. I picked this one for one specific reason. We'll know when we get to it. This is from Jacob. He says, I accidentally walked through the set of Leonardo DiCaprio's movie while filming on my way to the gym.
Whoa!
Hey, James and Meso. The other day I was on my way to the gym on the same route I usually take. For the past few days, there's been a stage at the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. On the last day of
bloody
finals, I
go.
was walking to the gym and there were far more people than usual. Long story short, I walked through the entire set while they were filming before realizing what was happening, and nobody said anything to me, even though they had security set up around the set. Who knows, I might be in the final cut of Don't Look Up!
Don't look up!
That's what it's called. Can I be the official accidental movie star of the pod?
Oh my God, I hope
Absolutely
you're in it.
can.
I hope
But-
it's like, it's Leonardo DiCaprio who's like, listen, it's really important when we do this, whatever this movie's about it. And there's just a guy in the background. Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy fucking Jim Dude. We're hitting up the town. We're hitting down the Boston's best gyms. Check out my reps and sets. whatever.
Yeah.
They're just like, leave it, whatever. It's a Netflix film. Who gives a shit?
But I just like the idea that it's called Don't Look Up.
Don't look up.
Don't look. It's really important we don't look up, guys, because there's a monster up there.
Oh, no.
It's a sequel to Bird Box.
And if we look up, he'll acknowledge us.
He'll acknowledge us there, and we don't want that.
It's Adam McKay.
Oh.
And I'm just checking where it's coming out to. It's a political satire disaster film.
Oh. Look, I'll give you another. Here's another email, James.
Yep.
It says, announce my unborn child.
All
It's from
right.
Daniel. Hello, mates. I recently found out I'm going to be a dad for the first time. I'm looking forward to finally seeing life and movies from James' perspective. Unfortunately, COVID time and space have made it impossible for me to tell some close friends who I know are regular listeners to the podcast.
Oh.
Can you please tell Pat and Westlife
What up,
in
Westlife,
Leeds
Pat?
that the release date for my child is late August next year? Let them know I miss them and will hopefully catch up with them and the rest of the Leeds contingent ASAP. Again, I've just picked this because he has a friend named Westlife.
That's very good. What up, Pat and Westlife? It's your boys, Jimmy and Nicky, just coming at you hot for a new release date. It's coming up August. It's actually a baby. It's a baby.
Yeah, nice.
It's your friend's baby.
That's right.
That's cool.
And we're saying worst baby ever.
Oh, come on, mate.
All right, just a baby.
Oh.
That's as far as I'll go.
That's a pretty big concession for you, I got to say as
that's
well.
right. Uh-huh.
That's very generous. You gave my babies worst babies
Anyway,
ever.
I'm just glad there's somebody out there whose nickname, I assume nickname and not given name is Westlife. Is it? Please email in Westlife if you're out there.
Yeah.
Is it because you really loved the boy band Westlife, or is it because you hated the boy band Westlife and it's a cruel
I
nickname?
don't think there's a band called Westlife, is there?
There is. That's why I picked this.
I don't think, is it?
They're a boy band.
It
called
is, yeah. I thought they were called West something else. You're absolutely right.
Westlife.
Maybe his last name is Westlife.
I hope it's not. I hope if it is, I hope his full name with the nickname is Westlife. And I hope that, if your name really is Westlife, email in and let me know how your life changed when the band Westlife.
Probably for the better.
I would imagine better. I'd say so. Yeah.
I should know a Westlife song.
Because is it a case of like he heard the band Westlife and he hated the band Westlife and he's like, hey guys, have you heard this boy band Westlife? And people are like, what's that? You want your nickname to be Westlife? And he's like, no, and then it's stuck because that's how nicknames work.
Well, Westlife, their song "My Love" has 244 million views. I'd imagine your life would change regardless.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
your Westlife.
Getting that kind of life. Maybe he was in Westlife.
Maybe he's in Westlife.
Maybe he auditioned for Westlife and didn't get Westlife.
But he'd already changed his name by deed poll to Westlife and gotten the Westlife tattoo. And he was like, huh, guys? Huh? And
No,
they're like,
across his chest, it's Westlife for life.
nice.
And it's all LYF. It's from James Dolph the Grey. With Christmas over, what are y'all's favourite holiday dishes? Personally, I love a good Christmas ham. # Weekly Planet Pod.
I love a corned beef.
Yeah.
Corned beef is good.
I like a good roast potato. If you're parboiling them and barely roasting them, I'm not interested. Just that's a boiled potato with a little bit of Christmas
Yeah,
to it.
yeah,
You want to
yeah.
go like you want it to crunch. You know what I mean?
Speaking of crunch, I love a roast pork with a crackling.
Oh, I love a crackling,
With maybe
mate.
an apple sauce on
My
it.
dad does a good roast pork with a crackling.
Yum.
What else?
Love Australians love a prawn at the table.
Yes.
Okay, just
what
a-
about the fiddliness associated with it?
It's all part of the magic.
So you're happy
James.
with that? You're happy to do that?
I'd rather have
There's
someone
a
else do
weird
it for me,
bowl
but there's
that-
no one else.
No, there's no one else. It's just you, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So, yeah, those are our greatest Christmas pleasures.
That's right. Also some other vegetables, I guess.
How do you feel about ham?
I love
For bun?
ham. Yeah.
As the meat, though? Claire's like, it's the best ham. It's the best meat for Christmas. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. It's like a side hustle. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, for
Christmas.
sure.
It's
No,
like
it's not the main event, is
It's
it?
like the 7th best dish.
Who's coming into Christmas Day? You're going to your family's house, you're coming in the door, you're rubbing your hands together, you're like, who's got me a big plate of ham? A shaved ham.
And she's like, and you can eat it for weeks. And I'm like, yeah, because no one's fucking eating it.
Wow.
You don't see any pork crackling left over, do you?
All right, I see where you're going, but I think you've gone too far. It is a fine meat.
Yeah, it's good, but it's like as good in like a sandwich with like a good ham and
Yeah,
cheese
yeah,
sandwich or
yeah.
some other variation. But
Yeah.
if you're not talking just ham on a plate, get out of here. This is from Scott Wilkinson. All through Christmas, my boys opened Roblox and Fortnite gifts. Every time they came across a character with a minigun accessory, they yelled, "Minigun minute!" # Weekly Planet Pod. How many miniguns did they get? That's a curious amount of miniguns.
Yeah. Can't believe you bought them real miniguns.
That's right.
Wow.
You see any good minigun minutes, Mason, lately?
Oh, no.
He hasn't, everybody.
That's right.
There's our minigun minute update.
Although somebody sent in some nice on Instagram. Somebody tagged me. Let's find them right now, James. They made a little minigun minute, little listener art. It's from Art by Lucas, ARTBYLUKUS, and he's made this little one here.
Oh, that's sick.
It's pretty sick.
I mean, I'm
right?
not in it, but that's sick.
No, that's right. No, he doesn't.
You look like the 7-Up guy.
Oh, Fido Dido.
I mean that as a compliment.
Yeah, no, that's you,
But,
you tell me that every year. They look like Fido Dido.
Oh yeah, I didn't see the picture. I'm just saying what you look like. What are we doing before we Westlife out of here?
I got a few more
Let's do
emails.
it.
A few more emails. How about this one, James? A Nail Through the Thumb and The Weekly Planet, a Christopher Nolan film. This is from Stephen. He says, hey, James and Mace, I'm a relatively new listener, but you've got me hooked. Well, that's very nice. I bought a house last year that needs some fixing up, and I've been doing all the work myself. This was a terrible idea, and I do not recommend it. Listening to you two while working on projects has been a lifesaver, although I did shoot a nail into my thumb with a nail gun while you were going on about some nonsense, but I want you to know that I do not blame you.
Well, yeah, you did that.
Yeah, you did that with your nail gun, I imagine. We didn't pull the trigger, did we?
No.
I mean, maybe we put that nail gun in your hand, man, but we didn't pull the trigger. You pulled the trigger.
Exactly.
I listen to each new episode as they come out, but I'm also making my way backwards through the archive, which I've discovered creates a sort of memento-style non-linear narrative structure in which I slowly discover the origins of long-running jokes.
Whoa.
I feel like I'm closing in on the big reveal of What Are We Westworld, and I can't wait.
Wow, you're pretty early. You got a lot to go. That's recent.
Yeah.
Or last year?
Maybe.
Fuck, when was that?
Hope you and your families are having a happy holiday. Thanks for the laugh. Stephen in Florida. P.S. The thumb is fine. Well, I'm glad it is.
I didn't ask.
I mean, you put a nail. Oh, my God.
No, Westworld was May of this year. It ended May of this year. There you go.
There you go.
That was this year. Jesus.
Yeah, that's
Is that everything? Oh, you got one more.
I got a couple more emails. Oh, yeah. Well, let's see. Oh, we got a lot of people talking about if they're Christmas babies, like Christmas.
Oh
around,
yeah,
Christmas
we
around
should
the
do
years.
some of those.
Duran. Hey, my name is Duran, like Duran Duran, and my birthday is the 27th, 2 days after Christmas. And let me tell you, I never got as many presents as my siblings, whose birthdays are in the middle of the year. It seems that my family are trying to make it up after I said something, not being a dick, just stating a fact, which is nice. So that's good. Carlos says, I'm genuinely 100% a Christmas baby and it kind of sucks. Hey, James. Hey, Nick, James, and Dog. Dog's just come in the room.
What up, Dog?
Just wanted to let you guys know that as someone who was born on Christmas Day, I'm always given one gift instead of two, with the only exception being my girlfriend. Oh, that's nice. Anyway, I was wondering if I could get a shout-out from one, my birthday, and two, for the fact that I passed all the classes I thought I was going to fail this semester. Congratulations.
It should at least have the value of two gifts. Congratulations.
Right.
But it should have at least have the value of two.
That's
And it has
right.
to be good.
Yeah. P.S. Like Nikolai from last week, I'm from Canada, but I'm from Toronto, so can I be the official Torontonian of the podcast? Yes, you may.
Oh, my goodness.
And I got one more email, James.
Yeah, let's do
It's
it.
from Taylor. Taylor Severin. Lonely Mates in the UK. Hi, guys. Just wanted to write a quick message to you to see if you could help say out some lonely mates out. So would love to if you could read this out on the pod. This year's been terrible for a lot of us, and in the UK we're going from blow to blow with lockdowns. Long story short, I've been feeling really damn lonely and wanted to help some other mates out. I'm going to be doing a 20-hour live stream of Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time over on Twitch. I'm not at all a streamer for the British Red Cross's Operation Anti-Loneliness campaign. I could really do with some support from great Aussie mates when the UK guys go to bed, and if someone could chuck in a buck, that'd be amazing. Stream will be the 29th of December 2020, which it'll be out when there's
That'll be on, let me check, that'll be on Tuesday.
from 10 a.m. GMT, which is Greenwich Mean Time, I guess.
Donald Gleason time.
Yeah. The link is twitch.tv/Taylor Seraph. So TaylorSeraph.
Check it out.
Check it out.
That's exciting.
He's
Good-
going to do a
good for you,
20-hour
man.
live stream of
A live stream.
A live stream. Hasn't 2020 just been that, James? A
Mate, you
2020,
ain't wrong.
just a 20-hour live stream. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's great that the people. Yeah, it's been a weird old year, but I'm glad
It really has,
people
it really
everybody's
has.
helping each other out, which has made it a much better year than it could have potentially been.
I couldn't find any of the things the birthday things, but I got a lot.
Oh, yeah, we got some
Sorry,
birthday things.
yeah.
Don't worry. We'll read about next week.
No, we won't. We've forgotten already.
No, I'll remember.
No, you
Oh,
won't.
No, I won't.
What's next?
But some people get two double presents.
Yeah, that's cool.
Guys, thank you so much for listening. This is the last episode of the year.
But not the last
But not
episode
the-
ever, because that's next week.
That's right. Then there's no more episodes.
Mm.
But then we'll take 2 weeks off, and then we're going to relaunch the podcast.
That's right.
Maybe it's going to be episode 1 again.
We're going to do that and spin out people who don't like that.
That's right. But guys, I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. I hope you had a wonderful New Year's, because it's going to be after New Year's when
We'll
the
be
next
back.
episode comes out. So I
That's
hope everybody's
right.
having a nice New Year's.
The safe one.
Yeah, safe one, absolutely. Thanks everybody for listening this year. What a bloody weird year it's been.
It's been good, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, it's been a normal good year, hasn't it? Yeah, it's been because we never leave the studio, so we don't know.
Or
Everything's
care.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I hope listening to the podcast has been some sort of Respite from the bloody world. We've tried to keep it as normal as possible, but
Yeah.
you know.
But just know we're spiraling hard.
We also went mad. We went mad earlier than everybody else. We were early adopters to going a bit mad. So
I think people noticed.
Yeah, I think they definitely did.
But I think doing this has also helped me in a big way.
Oh yeah,
like
same.
if
Me
I
too.
had nothing to do, then I don't know.
Because people, you know, when people have emailed in and said, you know, they're doing better or they're getting through life or whatever, it's good to know that there are people out there. You know,
Totally.
Where you know everybody is a bit isolated, so it's good that we're getting the emails as well. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but anyway, in the meantime, on to the plugs, James.
Here we go.
James.
James.
But also the listeners, thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Like I said, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for telling a friend throughout this weird year.
That's right. You can leave a review.
That's
you
right.
can do it in-app. Just open it up and be like, bam, here we go.
James, you got any?
It's from
I doubt you do.
I do. I got 2. This
What?
is from TNVB77. It says, my favorite podcast. I've been listening to this podcast for years. And though you have said you can leave a review in-app, for some reason it's gone over my head until this week. I enjoy both your chemistry and Dry Human has got me through some dark times. So thank you both. Still trying to get my boyfriend of 12 years to listen to you, though it usually takes him a few years to stumble upon something I recommend to him and tell me about and said that I already recommended it. And I also waited for you guys to talk about Peaky Blinders. I've waited for you guys to talk about Peaky Blinders. It's my favourite show and I love to hear feedback on it. I need to do that show that I haven't watched.
Let's rewatch the first episode of Peaky Blinders.
Agreed.
And then we'll do an
And
entire
then we'll
episode.
play the Switch game of Peaky Blinders.
Is there a Switch game?
Yeah.
Wow. What do you do? Is it like a mafia mob boss kind of game?
Let me check. Anyway, you
Was
keep
it
going
British?
while I check.
Folks.
Oh, wait, I got another review before you do that.
Yep.
A Grand Australian Times from Jack F98 says, listener since 2016, never missed an episode, still my absolute favourite podcast to walk my dog Lucy to. So thank you both of you. But there we go. Sorry, continue.
The person and the dog.
Correct.
Folks, if you want to get in contact with us, you can go to Weekly Planet Pod at Facebook, at Gmail, at Twitter, at Bandcamp. You can go to planetbroadcasting.com. You can look at all the podcasts on the Planet Broadcasting Network. You can
right.
sign up to the newsletter from the great Rob Collins. He tells you about everything that's coming out this week, all the bonus stuff, all the stuff that we have forgotten about ourselves, but he's always on the ball.
Even if you don't want to know, he's telling you.
That's right, you can't avoid it. He sends 15 emails a day.
That's right. You got to also realize that guy does so much work as well. Like he's getting these running stuff that you don't even bloody know about. He's an absolute godsend. If you believe in God or the devil, whatever you believe in.
He's doing their work.
That's right. Exactly.
It's his motto. I'm doing one of their work and I'll never tell.
That's
I'll
it.
never tell. You can also, he's on Twitter also at
he is.
Raw Collins at The Weekly Planet. You can follow him there. You can also follow me at Wikipedia Brown on Twitter and on Instagram. I'm Nick
That's
Maso.
right, that's right, that's right.
NOCKMASEAU James. You are Mr. Sunday Movies everywhere.
Yep.
You can also go to the Planet Broadcasting Great Mates Facebook group. Taylor, if you want to put the link to the stream you're doing, put it in the Facebook group.
Boom, do
That's
it.
where people are very nice and have a nice chat and a good time about all kinds of pop cultural stuff. It's really
Exactly.
good.
That'd be rad, yeah.
And Legend of Zelda, probably.
It's also important that people know that Peaky Blinders Mastermind is a puzzle adventure game based on the multi-award winning TV show. Become the mastermind as you control key characters and pull off a perfectly synchronized plans.
Oh my God.
It's isometric. I don't know what's going on here.
Sounds really good.
Yeah. Oh my God, if you're a fan of the show, is this good? I can't tell.
Surely not. It sounds like, you know, when you're on
It's got okay reviews.
You know when you're Instagram and you get a weird or like one of those weird ads for it's a puzzle game and it's like a man with a mustache and he's pulling like metal rods out of a thing and then he drowns.
Yeah, they're like, is this too many metal rods? Help the man. I'm like, I don't fucking know this guy.
I clicked on one of those once and it's like the game is not anything like that. It's nothing like that. I was trying to pull out rods and drown a man, but it was something else.
That's so true. That's all of those
That's
guys.
how they trick
aren't
you.
they? It's like there's enough.
Yeah.
These gems are filling up and killing me. Maybe. Yeah.
If you'd like to help us earn enough money to buy gems and kill ourselves.
That's right.
You can go to patreon.com.
Then we can leave them to our families and loved ones.
That's right.
Yeah.
You can chuck in $1.
That's right.
Or just do whatever you wish because it's the holidays and just be nice and chill.
Exactly.
Or you can go to the Amazon affiliate link in our episode description, click through there. You want to buy some stuff on Amazon?
Yeah.
You can definitely do that, and that would help us out. Or you can go to bigsandwich.co. You can sign up for $9 a month, $9 American United States dollars.
USDs, baby,
And we give you
until the economy crashes. Then we're going to change the currency. Oh,
Nice.
yeah.
Hell yeah,
Maybe
baby.
we'll do some lira. We'll have to see.
I would love to get some lira every month.
Me too. Yeah.
But we've got bonus podcasts. We've got movie commentaries. We've got all sorts of stuff. Even when we're taking a couple of weeks off, there'll be more stuff at bigsandwich.co.
Correct.
It's all good. I'm
is
enjoying
all
it.
good.
We got some new podcasts up there that I'm bloody loving.
Dude, they're good fun, aren't
Yeah,
they?
they're very good fun.
And that's the show for this week.
That
See you
is.
next week.
Thank you to the Brute and the Basilisk and Rackham for all the musical things.
yeah.
We've got t-shirts on tbupperlick.com. A lot of people bought them for Christmas presents.
I know.
I saw someone, I don't have their name here, unfortunately, but they did. They were like, well, this sums up 2020, doesn't it? And it's the your face, I'm fine question
I
mark
didn't see
t-shirt,
that one.
which is a real classic, a Fergal Quigley classic.
It is.
That is the show, I think.
It is the show.
We will catch you next week for the
Vote for
first
that thing.
podcast of the new year.
But our
and then-
last podcast for the year.
Then two. Yep, we're doing one podcast, but man, we're going to really stuff it in for 2021.
We also might record it early. I don't know what we're doing.
Oh yeah, that's true. Also too.
Anyway, see you guys. Goodbye. And goodbye.
Grab that gem, you guys.
See you,
See you
goodbye.
in 2021. See you next year.
Bloody see you, man.
See you next year. You know when people do that?
If-
It's New Year's Eve,
Yeah,
and people
but
are
if
like, I'll
you-
see you next year, and then they turn around, it's 2021. That's me. I'm the
I
one
wish
doing
you were
that.
the man in the metal rod game and I could drown you in metal rods. I just pull the lever and you're like, this is too many. And I'm like, yeah, but the joke. And you're like, yeah.
No, this is good, actually. Yeah, no, I'm liking it. At least it's authentic.
You've also combined two callbacks.
That's
so,
very
so
nice.
this is you as you're
I
dying.
accept my death for the bits.
All right, goodbye.
Okay, bye.
This podcast is part of the Planet Broadcasting Network.
Visit planetbroadcasting.com for more podcasts from our great mates.
I mean, if you want. It's up to you.